shooting of a woman in Minneapolis as being in self-defense. Local authorities dispute that. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz says now the state is being locked out of the shooting investigation.
So Minnesotans, I will continue to press that we be part of the investigation, that we do the investigation, so that Minnesotans can trust what the outcome is.
CBS's Usher Qureshi is in Minneapolis with more on the shooting of Renee Good.
Saw the video, totally thought it was murder, plain and simple.
That video shows Good backing up in her car as an agent tries to open the driver's side door. As she begins to pull away, another officer draws his gun and fires multiple rounds, killing her.
It was an act of domestic terrorism.
The Trump administration blames Good. DHS Secretary Kristi Noem claims Good had been stalking agents all day.
The Trump administration is defending its immigration crackdown tactics. CBS's Allison Keyes.
In New York City, Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem touts immigration enforcement arrests and deportations.
Those arrested are violent transnational gang members.
But CBS News reports, according to official government data, the number of non-criminal detainees arrested by ICE had increased by more than 2,000% as of November since President Trump took office in January. Allison Keyes, CBS News.
Vice President J.D. Vance has announced the creation of a new Assistant Attorney General position focused on investigating fraud following allegations that taxpayers were bilked out of billions of dollars in Minnesota. He says they hope to make a nomination in the next few days. A judge disqualifies a federal prosecutor in New York. CBS's Jake Rosen on why.
A federal judge in New York disqualified acting U.S. Attorney in the Northern District of New York, John Sarcone, from handling 2 investigations into New York Attorney General Letitia James on Thursday, ruling that he was not lawfully serving in his position when subpoenas to James' office were issued.
So the subpoenas have been thrown out. Jeffrey Epstein survivors and a bipartisan group of senators are among those calling for an internal Justice Department investigation into the delay in the release of the complete Epstein files as required by law this past December 19th. CBS's Scott McFarlane.
These requests for investigation ask if the redactions we've seen so far are lawful, whether information has been selectively or politically released, and whether the failure to meet this deadline is, in fact, a violation of the law in a way that there is perhaps misconduct.
So far, only about 1% of an estimated million or more documents have been released. Stocks are mixed on Wall Street. This is CBS News.
You still got it, but your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Newly released video of a stolen speeding car plunging off a ferry dock. The story coming up, but first, KIRO News Radio traffic. Here's Nate Connors.
Hey, thanks, Heather. We're looking really good out there. That drive continues to look great this noon hour. The only significant backups are here in Seattle, and they are brief. Eastbound 520, it's packed from I-5 over to Montlake Boulevard. Obviously, we've got something blocking near Montlake, but I'm not finding it on my cameras. And then South 5 still just a little crowded in the U District across the Ship Canal Bridge. Nothing heavy, just a brief slowdown as you head into downtown Seattle. The Mukilteo-Clinton ferry route is suspended right now for scheduled repairs, and they will resume service with the 1 o'clock departure out of Clinton, the 1:30 departure out of Mukilteo, and we do have a wind advisory as you cross the Tacoma Narrows Bridge. KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Heather Bosch.
It looks to me like a shooting that didn't need to happen.
Former King County Sheriff and law enforcement analyst John Urquhart reacting to video of a woman in a car who was fatally shot by an ICE officer in Minneapolis.
Because the officer put himself basically in harm's way. He got in front of that car. And when you do that, 2 things are going to happen. Either you're going to get run over, which is not good, or you're if you don't move out of the way, you're going to shoot the driver.
The FBI has taken over the investigation. Newly released body cam video shows first responders rescuing people after a stolen speeding car plunged into water off the Edmonds Ferry dock in June.
How many people are left in the car? 2. Male or female? 2 female.
Those 2 women in the car died. 3 other people were rescued, including the 29-year-old driver. He's been charged with vehicular homicide. A Puyallup family is searching for their barbecue trailer stolen right from their own driveway. KIRO 7 TV's Eric Thomas spoke with Larry Marco of Marco's Blackjack Barbecue.
Kicks you right in the gut, because it is more than just barbecue.
It's a family business. Neighbors say a scruffy-looking man wearing a mask pulled up in a full-size white pickup truck, hitched the trailer, and took off. a loss that sets Marco's back a pretty penny.
So we're talking in the thousands of dollars.
Expenses aside, it's an experience Larry has really enjoyed sharing with his 2 sons.
It's a great family connection.
Puyallup police are investigating the theft. The CDC now estimates there have been at least 11 million flu cases in the U.S. this season, and Washington State's health officer confirms
flu activity in Washington is high and rising in all parts of our state.
Dr. Tao Kwan Get says at least 22 people have died here. He says it's not too late to get your flu shot. Which medicine can shorten your bout with the flu? I'll have more on that at mynorthwest.com. A short-lived tenure for Seattle Aquarium CEO Peggy Sloan announcing her departure this week after just 8 months, according to the Business Journal. She replaced former CEO Bob Davison, who spent decades on civic work before leading development of the aquarium's new Ocean Pavilion. After Sloan took over, the aquarium laid off dozens of employees and reduced programming. KIRO Newsradio weather, cloudy skies today with highs in the low 40s. It is 42 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO Newsradio App. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
And now, it's time for the Jake and Spike Show on KIRO Newsradio. With your hosts, Jake Skorheim and Spike O'Neill.
Welcome to the show. Happy Thursday, January 8th. Jake Skorheim here, Spike O'Neill sitting right there.
Hey, brother.
Man, busy week.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, you come back from a holiday break like we just did. I mean, we got back, our first day back was Monday the 5th. Is that right?
That's right. Yep.
Usually those weeks kind of drag because you've just gone through a nice long vacation, then you get back to work and you kind of get back into it.
But ease back into it, they usually, right?
Yeah, you kind of.
Just
no rest for the weary.
Not us, not here, not KIRO.
Just a ton of stuff happening. We're going to get into all of it. We're going to have some good interviews today. We're going to talk to Charlie Harger in just a little bit. We'll tease that in just a couple minutes. You're definitely going to want to hear that interview. That's going to be at 12:30. If you have kids and you love them, then this is a topic that you'll probably be interested in.
We're not trying to be presumptive here.
No.
But we're assuming if you have kids, you're going to care about their future.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's information you want to hear.
You want to hear.
Yes.
So it's going to be at 12:30. And then, actually, along those same lines, there's another study out of the UW. We're going to talk to a researcher at the University of Washington who has this study, which is wild, at 2:30. And you and I have talked about this many times.
Yeah.
About the creeping dangers of social media and screens on kids and how much they're using it. You will not believe the number of hours that kids, possibly your kids, although if you listen to this show, you're probably a good parent. You're probably trying to keep your kids away from that stuff. The number of hours that kids are spending these days on cell phones and looking at screens, and not just outside of school, but the number of hours during school hours.
Yeah.
Will shock you.
And the lack of continuity among policies in school districts, in our listening audience.
Totally.
People can't come up with the right plan.
Yeah, our state's kind of weird about that. They have said, like, each school district, we want to let them decide their own thing, but we're not going to make any official recommendations, which is, whatever.
I hope they're listening to this, Professor.
I hope they do. At 2:30. It's very interesting. All right. First things first, let's get into this biggest national news story. And we have a local connection to this as well, because we now have some commentaries from, elected officials here locally. But the Minnesota shooting of that woman, to start right off, and we're going to do this in greater detail at 1 o'clock because there's just a lot of things to cover on this. There are, a lot of context to it, which we try to do, which is different than other places who do it. They just kind of like very quickly, you're supposed to instantly have a strong reaction to something that maybe you don't know a ton about.
I felt guilty. I felt guilt. I fell into that. I'm guilty of that yesterday. I had a very visceral, emotional reaction to this, as we all did.
It's fair to do because that's what
the
platforms where it's being disseminated are designed to do, to elicit strong reactions from you. But I do think that there is some wisdom in maybe letting it breathe for a second and letting them do an investigation and try to figure things out. We can also still admit it's a tragedy and it's horrible when somebody loses their life. And, I don't know why this woman was there 100%. The investigation will release that. I've seen the video. You've probably all seen the video. There's a woman in Minnesota. She was near ICE agents as they were trying to conduct a thing.
It seems pretty clear now that she was part of a civic movement to alert their neighborhood of ICE activity. And was in the vehicle blocking a road. I mean, we'll get into it later.
We'll get into it in more detail, but people have described it in various ways. One of the ways is was she obstructing a law enforcement operation, or was she just a lawful observer? Is the term I've seen a bunch. Regardless, it's very sad that somebody died, because it means that she probably thought she was. I assume she thought she was doing something good.
I think that's fair to say.
And I don't know if that's actually what she was doing, but I assume she probably thought she was doing something.
And I would put forth that I believe the agent who fatally shot this woman believed he was doing something good.
That's the thing, and I'm so glad you said that, because I watched this video a number of times from like 4 different angles I saw, I think. There's like 4 kind of good videos from
There's a fresh one this morning from someone up across the street who had a back camera. It's through trees.
She's a 37-year-old lady. She's got 3 kids, 15, 12, and 6 years old. Again, I don't want to be specific about what she was doing there because I don't know. But in the video, it appears as if she is trying to, it looks like she's there and then attempts to drive away when they're approaching her vehicle because she's blocking the middle of the road. That's what it looks like to me in the video.
Yeah.
She tries to drive away. Somebody's at her door. There's somebody else in front of the vehicle. The vehicle appears in the video that I saw, the many videos that I saw, it appears to make contact with the guy. The guy has his weapon out. He shoots once through the windshield, and then I don't know this, but I believe it looks like he shoots at least one more time, possibly through the driver's side window. The car then continues on and smashes into another vehicle. She dies. That's awful. Everything about it is awful.
I think the first thing you said, though, is I don't equate the tragedies, but as concerning is the rush to have a concrete opinion about this, to make declarative statements about this, the rush to do that.
You know what drives me nuts is it's from elected officials who are also doing it. I mean, from both sides, they're doing it. I'm going to read you just a tweet, though, because this one to me feels like, take a beat, Patty Murray. This is a tweet she sent out. This was yesterday, 2:30. So this is just hours after the incident happened. Conducting immigration enforcement doesn't mean you execute American citizens in the street. So she's saying that this is an execution. Did we reach out to her, Laura, and ask if she believes this was an execution, or was that just a turn of phrase?
We have not heard back.
Okay.
Yep.
So she's calling it an execution. I think there's a lot of people. The investigation will determine whether or not he lawfully was defending himself because he believed he was in danger for his life if the vehicle could have run over him. Now, if you're standing in front of a vehicle and somebody tries to flee, that's also something that can happen. The whole thing is a mess.
Well, yeah, I'm with you. And I think the declarative statement from Senator Murray is as inflammatory as from the Department of Homeland Security Secretary Noem, who labels someone a domestic terrorist out of the gate. Well, sentiments echoed by the vice president. I mean, it's irresponsible.
All of them.
All of them. And I'll give credit where credit is due. I saw rationality from a very unexpected source in Tom Holman.
Yeah.
Who said, I'm going to wait for an investigation to take place, and those responsible, if need be, will be held accountable.
Yeah.
That's,
we have that audio. We'll play that a little bit later.
Let's go get a bag of burgers with that guy. It's common sense. It's a calm in a storm.
The whole thing is just wild, and it's, you're watching all of this play out, and it's really difficult because it's everywhere. It's on social media everywhere. Do you have this also thought? And we'll get into something else here in a second because it's more
somewhat related, to be honest with you.
It is somewhat related.
Other first thing. Yeah.
Do you find that you're having to make more of an effort to? So the interesting thing about the internet is it's everywhere, and social media is everywhere, and it's pushing stuff at you from from Minneapolis, it's pushing stuff at you from Everett, it's pushing stuff at you from around the world. I don't have the capacity to emotionally carry the weight of what's happening all over the world. I'm not God. And so I have to find myself, like I have to force myself to say, hey, you know what? Horrible things happen all the time. And I don't want to sound like a cold-blooded person, but I got kids to worry about. I save my emotions for my kids and my wife.
That's sane.
You have to protect yourself.
That's a great perspective to bring to this. I was telling Laura, I watched so much coverage last night. I read so many things last night. I tried to get opposing viewpoints from my own personal, preconceptions of the situation. And
I just want to be well-rounded.
Yeah, I want to see opposing views. But I got so.
You get wrapped up in it.
Yeah. I was just overwhelmed by this, emotionally overwhelmed. I put on a Christmas movie. I swear to you, before I went to bed last night, I watched half an hour of a Christmas movie so I could just
to
sleep,
relax,
to get some peace.
Yeah.
In this, after yesterday,
I'm in the same spot, and I'm not saying that these things are not important. They're important, obviously,
yeah,
but
of course they are.
But we can't carry those weights. We're not designed that way. We can't carry. I mean, I believe I have a soul in my body, and my soul is not made to carry all of the weights of the world. Yeah. You do what you can.
Yeah, you do what you should.
You do what you should.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you got to protect yourself a little bit.
And that's what you should. You do that because you should, because you have to.
But if you were to follow all the stories, they're like, hey, you need to be angry about this now. And you're just like, wait a minute. I don't have to be. Yeah. I could say something is very sad. And then we can say, hey, you know, what lessons can we learn from this? And let's try to move on. But you don't have to get mired in it. It doesn't have to become like.
You have to get tribal. We've gotten so tribal.
Yeah, it's tough. All right, we'll talk more about that at 1 o'clock. There's a lot of interesting stuff coming out about it now because this was, it's obviously this happened yesterday morning. We now know a lot more. We know about the victim in this case, the lady who was killed. We also know about we know a lot more about the agent as well and some of his background. Adds a lot of, I think, useful, interesting context to this. So we'll get into that at 1 o'clock. And we have a lot of audio from other political figures around who've been saying that they're not inflammatory while saying super inflammatory things. So we'll share a lot all with you at 1 o'clock. All right, a little closer to home, and this is interesting because it is related in a way, but this is the reason you have all these ICE agents in Minnesota. There's just like 2,000 ICE agents going into Minnesota is because they have this big investigation happening right now as it pertains to child care fraud in the Somali community in Minnesota.
Minnesota has the largest concentration of Somali Americans in many cases. Immigrants in many cases, but they're naturalized citizens. People have been here since the 90s.
Yeah, a lot of them.
From civil war in Somalia.
There's thousands of orders of removal as well. I mean, there's a lot of,
absolutely.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. But that's why the agents are in Minnesota, because of the large Somali community, because of the massive fraud that's been uncovered in daycare operations in the Somali community. And we mention that because now it's hitting close to home.
Well, now people are saying, hey, if this is happening in Minnesota, what are the odds it's only happening in one state? And it's literally such a huge issue in Minnesota that Tim Walz just announced that he's not going to be seeking re-election as governor. I mean, it's a big, big deal. Mm-hmm. And so now we turn our eyes to Washington State, and people are saying, hey, is it possible that there is some fraud happening in Washington State? And there was go ahead.
No, I was going to say, to say that there isn't seems ludicrous.
Seems statistically
to
impossible
eliminate
to
the possibility.
That there's not even.
And again, this is that declarative out of the gate.
Yeah.
Dig your heels in, make a declarative statement when it's not appropriate to make a declarative statement. I know where you're going with this, and please.
Let me play this clip. Como News, I think Chris Daniels, right, at Como?
Yeah.
He sat down with new Mayor Katie Wilson, and he asked her about this because there are these allegations of fraud in the child care system in Washington State. And again, it's worth noting, they started this audit, this fraud allegation audit, before all this stuff in Minnesota was happening.
Well, that Minnesota case was years old.
Yeah.
That fraud, that massive fraud, obviously.
It's
massive
been happening
fraud.
for a long time.
It has been. People have been arrested, prosecuted. People are in jail because of that case.
The viral video
cases
that went around, that Nick Shirley video, that everybody was like, oh my gosh, and so let's investigate. There was already an audit taking place in Washington State.
Yes.
I mean, there's hundreds of millions of dollars going into, child care in our state. And so somebody was saying, hey, we should look into this just to make sure that we're not wasting dollars. Mm-hmm. Obviously, our state is in a precarious position financially, and we want to make sure that we're not wasting money. So Katie Wilson was asked about this. This is what she had to say to Como. And tell me if you think that this is the right approach. This is from the new mayor of Seattle. I was kind of very surprised, actually, by this clip. She seems adamant that there's nothing to see here.
You had weighed in on January 1st, the day before the official swearing in, about some of the things going on outside Somali-run daycare centers. And I just want to quote the tweet in full context, that you condemn the surveillance campaign promoted by extremist influencers. Family home child care programs are places of care, safety, and trust. They're privately operated businesses, not public spaces. And they're regulated by the government, not private individuals or groups. And that you're going to work with the Office of Immigrant and Refugee Affairs, the Department of Education, SPD, and other city departments to ensure child care providers in our city are safe, secure, and protected. Mm-hmm. What have you done in those regards?
Yeah, so we're working on that. So we have conversations going on with the departments. And it's just, I don't think it needs to be explained why it's problematic to have random people showing up to daycares. I think the fear in the Somali community is real. The fear in immigrant communities are real, so we're taking that very seriously.
The next question he asked in a second is really the one that caught my attention. Her answer to this is not something I completely disagree with. I don't want people showing up at daycares randomly.
There's reports of harassment at Somali-run daycares in Washington and in other states because of this rhetoric that's been put forth on a national level. They've cut off funding to multiple blue states, California, Washington.
I think nationwide. It's prepayments nationwide, but yeah.
Yeah, prepayments have been cut off by HHS to eliminate fraud.
Without verification, if you can't verify what we're paying you the money for, then you don't get the money.
That's valid.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
What she's saying here, though, and I agree with you, I don't want people showing up at daycares like harassing legit daycares.
Yeah, exactly.
But when you find that, if you do have somebody investigating, let's say there's a journalist who finds out that there's 5 daycares listed in one complex, and there doesn't appear to be any children there, which is what was happening in Minnesota, I think questions can be asked. I don't think that that's necessarily harassment. I think there are questions that can be asked. So leading into that now, Chris Daniels did ask her, okay, so what do you say to the allegations of possible fraud? Here was her answer.
Along those lines, have you asked anyone to follow up on the fraud claims either to the Department of Immigrant and Refugee Affairs or SPD?
No.
So as far as you're concerned right now, there's no reason to suggest there's any sort of fraud.
This whole issue is not really about fraud, right? It's about dividing and conquering. It's about making an immigrant community a target, right? There's no reason to assume based on the identity of a daycare operator that their small business is doing anything wrong.
That seems pretty definitive. She just says no. I guess she's already done all the investigation in her head. She doesn't have to ask any questions.
Along those lines, have you asked anyone to follow up on the fraud claims either to the Department of Immigrant and Refugee Affairs or SPD?
No.
Do you think it should just end there?
Well, these are two very powerful and important issues. Is there fraud? Is there the possibility of fraud? Should fraud be investigated?
Yeah.
Absolutely. The answer, no. I haven't asked anybody to follow up on this. Well, I mean, here's another new mayor, and week one. Yeah, and we've been decrying the inexperience of this entire administration. It's going to be painful.
Not off to a running start.
Not off to stumbling out of the blocks. To be gentle to say this.
Yeah.
But it's also the other issue about targeting various communities. Simply because they are communities of ethnic communities, minority ethnic communities.
Don't target anyone, obviously.
Exactly. Because yes is the answer to both those questions.
If there's fraud happening, then yes.
You can't ignore the possibility that there's fraud just because people perpetrating this fraud may be of an ethnic community who has been targeted for harassment.
Yeah.
That's the same thing that got Walson into so much trouble in Minnesota. He goes, we don't want to go public with this investigation about possible Somali fraud because that community has been targeted. And he's not wrong. But to say that you can't investigate,
to turn your eye because you don't want to be perceived as being, unfriendly to a certain community,
to be bigoted or racist. Yes,
and now they're saying
you have the responsibility to monitor and address fraud.
Got to make sure your money's
being spent wisely. Your Honor, the mayor. Come on,
Your
Honor, get up to speed. The boat's leaving. Get on it.
Get on it. I like that. That's a good. Can we end on a lighter note? Let's end on a lighter note.
Speed up.
We're gonna get more light in our state. Over by the end of January,
I'm already feeling it.
I am too. My drive home's in the evenings. It's lighter.
It's lighter.
Yeah, and by the end of January, we will have an extra hour of daylight. Isn't that wild?
That's not even spring forward. We're not talking about spring forward. We're talking about just the
tilt of the earth
again. Here we go. And that's the big picture.
I love that
Earth keeps turning.
The earth keeps turning.
Yep.
Okay, Charlie Harger's coming up next. This is a kind of an amazing story. You don't want to miss this. Teenagers do something incredibly stupid and dangerous and putting somebody's life in danger.
Maybe yours.
Maybe yours. It could have been.
Yeah.
And so what are the repercussions for that in our state? You probably
what are
won't
the
be
opportunities?
surprised.
Opportunities to learn a lesson.
Yeah, there you go. Charlie Harger is going to join us next. Stick around. Be right back.
When extreme weather hits Western Washington.
A flash flood warning after a critical levee breaks along.
KIRO Newsradio is the first place you turn.
We have team coverage this morning.
Live in Auburn, James Lynch, KIRO Newsradio.
Which communities are hit hardest?
Skagit River again going to flood to major levels.
What it means for your commute.
Northbound 167 underwater.
MyNorthwest.com and KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM. and the KIRO News Radio app.
Meet Lee Platts, a renter whose possessions fill not only her apartment, but also the darkest corners of a mini storage unit. A land of both truth and fiction. Truth, everything inside is protected by Progressive. Fiction, one day Lee will fit into her clothes from senior year of high school. Renters, discover coverage for what you love and what you can't get rid of in Progressive's Protection Zone. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers.
Are you 50 or older? This news is for you. The CDC recommends you get vaccinated against pneumococcal pneumonia. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at risk. People 50 or older are over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia compared to adults 18 to 49. Just one shot can help protect you. Learn more and schedule at vaxassist.com. That's VAXassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
For over 50 years, Bucky's Complete Auto Repair has been the one locals trust for honest pricing, expert service, and guaranteed repairs. This dedication has earned them a Carfax Preferred designation. At Bucky's, every customer gets detailed Carfax updates, timely service reminders, and a full service history, all at your fingertips. With 16 family-owned locations, no appointment needed, and easy financing, Bucky's makes auto care simple. Visit Bucky's.com today and drive with confidence. Bucky's.com.
John Curley here. As humans, we value things that last. Local businesses, long-term relationships, people who have been in the community for years. That's Madrona Financial and CPAs. For decades, they've been serving Washingtonians, and what makes them different? They combine taxes and investments under one roof. Most firms do one or the other, but not both. Taxes are often your biggest retirement expense, bigger than travel or healthcare. Yet most never get a clear look at how taxes and investments fit together. That's why Madrona offers the Madrona Analysis. It's an easy-to-understand review of your retirement picture, income, taxes, investments, all working together in one coordinated plan. Best of all, it's conversational. You'll talk with someone who explains it all in plain English. Discover hidden tax traps, see if your portfolio matches income needs, and learn steps to retire with confidence. Call 833-673-7373 for your complimentary Madrona Analysis. Madrona Financial and CPAs, local, trusted, and here to put the whole picture together. John Curley here with Closets by Design. Take advantage of up to 40% off plus an additional 15% off and 18 months financing and free installation. Go to closetbydesign.com or call 1-800-BY-DESIGN to schedule your free in-home design consultation today.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals, and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio, so we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
What other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, it sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Start having fun. Caesars Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino Resort is your #1 place to eat, drink, watch, and have fun. Keep up with your favorite sports anywhere and everywhere on property with the mobile app. Visit MuckleshootCasino.com today. Scan the QR code and let the play begin.
Muckleshoot.
Now is your time to get into a new D.R. Horton home by taking advantage of its National Red Tag Sales event going on right now through January 25th. Stop by any of its participating communities and find select Red Tag homes at incredible pricing. So whether you're buying your first home or looking for an upgrade, you don't want to miss the Red Tag Sales event going on right now. Discover the D.R. Horton difference. Visit drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder and equal housing opportunity builder. Gold, platinum, and Grammy-winning trumpeter Chris Bodie crossed over from jazz to pop stardom. Now he's crossing back. Hear his return to acoustic jazz and classic standards live at Jazz Alley, January 14th through 18th. Tickets at jazzalley.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon, I'm Heather Bosch. Seattle police say witnesses reported seeing ICE agents arrest 3 men yesterday. A police report obtained by the Seattle Times says it happened at Evergreen Washelli Cemetery around 10:15 a.m. Police Chief Sean Barnes confirms federal agents were conducting enforcement duties in the area at the time. He says the SPD has no authority over ICE but can document incidents and make sure rights are being upheld. No details on the individuals who were detained. In Minneapolis, hundreds of people have gathered outside a federal building today to protest yesterday's deadly shooting of a woman by an ICE agent. Reporter Barrett Leone is among the protesters, where agents have sprayed some kind of irritant.
It's hard to breathe with that irritant in the air. This group is still holding their ground, but obviously agents, law enforcement, they've come into the crowd, and now there is some sort of standoff, some sort of commotion. It looks like they've got a gentleman with his hands behind his back.
The Trump administration says the 37-year-old woman who was fatally shot was using her car as a weapon against ICE agents. Witnesses say she appeared to be trying to drive away. Former King County Sheriff and law enforcement analyst John Urquhart tells KIRO Radio's Gian Ursula the shooting did not have to happen.
Because the officer put himself basically in harm's way. He got in front of that car. And when you do that, 2 things are going to happen. Either you're going to get run over, which is not good, or you end up, if you don't move out of the way, you're going to shoot the driver.
The FBI has taken over the investigation. The U.S. House is expected to vote today on whether to extend tax credits that would bring premiums under the Affordable Care Act back down. CBS's Nicole Killian.
A bill to extend Affordable Care Act tax subsidies cleared a procedural hurdle Wednesday. 9 Republicans joined Democrats to discharge the measure and force a final vote Thursday. The proposal would provide a clean extension of the enhanced tax credits for 3 years. The subsidies were at the center of the shutdown fight last fall. They expired at the end of December.
On Wall Street, the Dow is up 284 points, NASDAQ down 115. KIRO News Radio traffic. Here's Nate Connors.
All right, Heather, Northwest Hope and Healing has the update. Tell you what, it continues to be an easy commute. It's been that way for the past couple hours, just minimal concerns. And right now, our only blocking issues up in Canyon Park, and that's northbound 527 right at 405. It's blocking the right lane on the overpass. This is just before that on-ramp to North 405. You can still take that ramp, but you'll kind of need to go around the collision to get there. And a reminder, tomorrow night at midnight, North 5 shuts down between I-90 and Northeast 45th, so crews can prep that Ship Canal Bridge for the Revive I-5 project. And then Monday morning, only 2 lanes will be open across the bridge through June. During this time, the express lanes will be open northbound only. Join Northwest Hope and Healing for Cork, Fork, and Support, an afternoon of wine tasting and inspiration. Get your tickets now for January 31st at nwhopeandhealing.org. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio weather, cloudy skies with highs in the low 40s. It's 44 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
All right, welcome back to the show. We are very happy to have Charlie Harger from Seattle's Morning News join us now. Charlie, welcome to the show.
Great to be back, guys. Good to see you. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you, buddy.
Quick question. How long do we keep doing that with people?
I think it's I felt it a little awkward even saying it. It feels a little dated, but it's been said, and we move on.
I give one to everybody I see. If I don't see them till March, that's when they get it.
Really?
Yep.
I feel like the cutoff is the 7th.
Yeah. We're a week in. Yeah.
7th, yes.
After the 7th, you're a psycho.
Yeah. I think so. I am a psycho. Thanks for that. I appreciate it.
All right. Well, good. But he does have a very good piece on My Northwest, and one that is very important.
Yeah.
And that I was sadly reminded that this is a sadly common tale that seems to happen in our state, and I don't understand why.
Yeah. So we had this story on Tuesday morning. A car gets clocked going 83 miles an hour. A state trooper observes it looking like somebody might be under the influence. This is 3:30 in the morning. The car, when the trooper turns the lights on, takes off, goes over 100 miles per hour and crashes.
Jeez. This is up in Marysville.
Yeah,
right?
this is up in Marysville, I-5. And at the time, I just see the words in the story that this was teenagers who were caught and involved. And it was just something where I was like, yeah, I better look a little bit more into this. So I reached out to the State Patrol and I go, well, how old were these teenagers? And in this car at 3:30 in the morning on a school night were 3 15-year-olds and a 16-year-old who were involved in this incident. And so I'm like, okay, this is a little interesting. So I emailed the trooper back and I asked her, was the driver the one who was the 16-year-old? No, actually, it was a 15-year-old driving. So it was a 15-year-old, apparently under the influence, who crashed the car, and only one of these kids went to jail. The one that went to jail had a warrant out for their arrest.
Of course.
The others were released to their parents in the middle of the night. And that raised just a lot of questions for me, but you're right, Jake. That's exactly the sort of story that we see again and again.
I feel like we have not delivered the full twist, though, on the story. The person who was arrested and had the warrant was not the driver.
Not the driver, no. It was the driver was a 15-year-old, unlicensed, possibly impaired, led troopers on a chase over 100 miles an hour and was released.
Released to parents. What kind? I mean, honestly, we're all parents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If your kid, I'm trying to really give an honest answer here. If my kid, God forbid, who is not 15 yet, any of my sons, if one of them, if I got a call in the middle of the night that my son had been in the car, suspicion of being impaired, leading police on a chase. One, why is my kid doing out of the house at 3:30 in the morning and drinking illegally?
What's my 15-year-old
driving illegally behind the wheel? Leading police on a chase. I mean, these are like escalating levels of insanity. I would lose my mind, and I don't know if my reaction would be, give this kid back to me so that they don't have to suffer any repercussions that they're going to remember for the rest of their life. I'm wondering, like, what would you guys do in that situation? Would you want your kid to be arrested or released to you?
That's what the hard part is, at least for me, because as a parent, I'm definitely wanting to talk to my son about what the world he was thinking, what led to this. And I don't know. I mean, my 13-year-old is a great kid, but he also has a little bit of a wild streak. I do know that in at least our house, we talk about the consequences, the weight of our actions.
Sure.
And I worry that some households don't do this because of course you guys, we're all around the same age. When we were
That's kind of you. Thank you.
Yes.
Get your eyes checked. I recommend sharp vision.
What are you talking about? Well, younger than both of you guys.
I've got kids in T-shirts as old as you. No, I'm kidding. No, we are about the same age. Here's, I think, to Jake's point, and to your point too, Charlie, we need to have these conversations with our kid. But we also need to give our kid the real-life experience of the consequences of their actions. I'm not sure who I find is more at fault in this scenario, the police department that released these kids or the parents that passed up this opportunity to give this kid, like Jake said, the life lesson of a night in jail. You can still talk to that kid tomorrow when he comes home. But here's a moment for, not to be cliche, but to be scared straight.
And a lot of times, guys, they won't be booked. Like juvenile hall can just straight up say, no, we're not going to take this kid.
Yeah, and that's a policy issue that we have about whether or not a 15, 16-year-old deserves to spend a night in jail. But when they've got your kid at 3 a.m, like you get a call in the middle of the night, you got him, he's safe, he's not injured, he doesn't need medical attention, great. I'll be there in the morning. And you leave that kid to sit in that cell.
Yeah, I do.
Because driving home with dad, you've got a different set of what am I into than when you're sitting in a jail cell.
Your parenting instincts are so strong to protect your kids, but you do also have to project, just like you were talking about, what's going to happen when you go out into the real world. You also have to project down the road, is me wanting to protect my kid tonight and not have them go to jail and teach that, obviously I'm sure this kid got a talking to I hope he got a talking to when he got home and things were taken away and I hope he was grounded and made to sit on his bed. But I have been locked up before for a couple of hours when I was in my early 20s for a very stupid reason when I was in college, and it was life-changing for me as far as like I never want to end, and I was never on like a really bad path. It was stupid. But I never wanted to end up locked up again in my life.
Right.
And it had such a lasting impact. There's a show on Netflix right now about
the hockey show?
Not the hockey. No,
that's the next hour.
No, not the hockey show.
Nice tease, though.
No, there's a Netflix show about these guys in prison, and they're trying this experiment where they're like, let's let these guys in prison kind of like run things and see how they form their hierarchy. It's dumb. It's like a reality show. It's whatever. My wife was like, oh, this looks interesting. We should check it out. And I was like, nope. Skipped right past it because of my PTSD from not wanting to relive the experience of being in jail. And these kids, I mean, if you're driving impaired at 15,
they're all lucky.
From cops,
they're lucky to be alive.
They're a lot further down the road.
I think the point in the commentary is this is an inflection point in all of these boys' lives. This is the moment. And what we have to hope is the parents themselves are having that talk with the kids. Like, okay, you lived, you survived after this happened.
Yeah.
You might not be so lucky next time. And look at these decisions you're making. It needs to be a deadly serious conversation with these kids. And I hope those parents are having that conversation because that is something society can't do. That is something the system can't do.
100%.
The people who love them, they need to be doing that.
But
Agreed.
when these kids get behind the wheel, impaired, illegally driving,
endangering us all,
endangering us all, it's no longer deadly consequences for yourself. What if those kids had driven into somebody else in traffic and killed somebody, or one of their friends died? That's going to scar them for life, far beyond the night of being booked in jail. And that's the road that these kids are heading down. I just don't know if anybody's doing them a favor by going easy on them.
Both these conversations, or both these memories, have to be instilled in this kid. The conversation with the parents, of course, Cheryl, you're absolutely right. I can't tell you how many times I sat in a car with my dad, being driven home from something stupid I'd done, or how many conversations my dad and I have had about me and the bad decisions I made. But I remember that night in jail. I forgot a lot of conversations with my dad, but I never forgot that night in jail.
Yeah.
And my old man told him, great, he'll benefit from this. I'll see him in the morning. I'm glad he did. I wish these parents had done the same.
Do you know what I tell my kids all the time is, because I have a son who's, I'll call him adventurous.
Yes.
He's very adventurous, but I remind him all the time when he's being corrected. I said, I'm correcting you right now because I love you. And I don't want you to be corrected in the future by people who don't love you, because it's a whole different type of correction.
Yeah.
And, there but for the grace of God, we don't want anybody to be in that situation. But I don't know, this feels like a missed opportunity for me, for these kids.
Absolutely. Parenting is hard too. That's one of the things we got to think about is not easy every day.
It's the most important job you ever have.
Kids make bad decisions, and we are on the clock. We're being watched.
Yeah.
Ugh, crazy story. All right, check it out on mynorthwest.com. Charlie Harger, thanks for coming in.
Happy to do it.
All right, we got a lot more coming up. Stick around.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
With Choke Points, we try to answer listeners' questions. It can be as simple as a neighborhood stop sign, or it can be as big as the budget for transportation. I don't care. I'll find the answer for you. It's really easy to get a hold of me at mynorthwest.com. We have a direct link there that gets right to me. You can also do it in the app. You can hit me up on the text line.
Choke Points, presented by Carter Subaru. Tuesdays and Thursdays on KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
Progressive's accident response can detect and send help when you need it most after a major car accident. But other accidents, you're on your own. Like when you accidentally call your wife Mom. When you accidentally say Happy Holidays on someone's birthday. When you accidentally wave at someone you thought was waving at you. We can't help with those accidents, but Progressive's accident response provides peace of mind after major car accidents. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Limited availability in California. Driver is responsible for emergency and towing charges not covered by the policy.
With the new IHOP value menu, $6 is all it takes to go to your happy place, where stacks of pancakes with bacon and eggs are just $6 every day. French toast, sausage, and eggs are, you guessed it, $6. And fluffy omelets come with a side of pancakes and only cost $6. Go to your happy plates every day at IHOP. $7 in some locations. Available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
For over 50 years, Bucky's Complete Auto Repair has been the one locals trust for fast, friendly service with guaranteed repairs. With 16 family-owned locations and a Carfax preferred badge, Bucky's makes it easy with same-day service and available financing. Visit buckys.com.
Happy New Year, Susan. I really appreciate you picking up the bill for lunch.
I'm happy to. One of my New Year's resolutions is being better with money. So I've started using Upside, the free app that pays you cash back for buying gas.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yes, I earn cash back just for buying the gas I was already buying.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make $200 to $300 this year.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now in the App Store or Google Play and start earning cash back on everyday gas purchases. Use promo code RIDER for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's up to 50 cents per gallon on your next fill up. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank account or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code RIDER for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code RIDER. Code RIDER.
Offers vary by user and location. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions.
This might be the most surprising statistic I've shared in decades of doing local news. More than 75% of commuters will be involved in a car accident at some point. JP Pendergast of Pendergast Law with more.
What makes it more surprising? The average person will be involved in 3 to 4 collisions in their lifetime.
With accidents unbelievably prevalent, what are some safety tips if it happens to you?
Safety first. Secondary collisions are not uncommon while awaiting help. Turn on those hazards and remain in a safe place. If a bystander witnessed the accident, capture their information and encourage them to remain at the scene. Seek medical attention immediately if needed, as delaying can be a costly mistake. Lastly, remember that statements made to police and insurance adjusters can affect your case.
Collisions are more common than we'd like to think. If you find yourself in one, follow these helpful tips and then call my friends at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one's injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
PendergastLaw.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
ZipRecruiter. Guys, feeling low energy or low drive? It could be low testosterone. At Revive Men's Health, start with a free T-check and consultation. And this month only, qualified patients may receive 25% off TRT. Book now at ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Terms apply, must medically qualify.
Power outages can happen without warning. Get a backup generator before the next storm and save $1,000 now at HomeComfortAlliance.com.
Feeling cold? Your windows may be the issue. Choose Lake Washington Windows and Doors for 25% better energy efficiency and up to 30% energy bill savings. Visit LakeWashingtonWindows.com.
Confidence with winter driving starts at Subaru of Puyallup. Find stress-free pricing and a stress-free experience at SubaruofPuyallup.com. Subaru of Puyallup, your stress-free dealership.
All right, welcome back to the show. Lots of stuff to cover in the next hour. We're going to take a deep dive into all that Minnesota stuff and also local politicians and national politicians who have used quite inflammatory language, which Spike and I both think is kind of not the right approach. Not what we would do, but, but hey, we're not politically elected leaders, so that makes us smarter.
What if we were, though, buddy? We'd act better.
Man.
I think we'd act better.
We would act right. You're absolutely right. You saw the story, which I thought was really fascinating, and this is good, just good info for people to have.
Yeah,
everybody gets older, and you want to fight you want to fight aging as much as possible.
Some of us sooner than others.
Yeah,
I find myself looking at a different type of story than I did 15 years ago.
You know, I know somebody who just did something kind of drastic to fight aging. And he has a show right after ours.
Really? Did he go dancing?
He did not go dancing.
Because that's what I found.
Really?
In a story from the New York Times, research that was done a couple decades ago by the Albert Einstein Institute of Medicine,
Sounds
which I think is
smart.
it's not somebody trying to sell me something.
Yeah.
Right? It's just a medical study. A study of 565 to 75-year-olds over a 10-year period. And what the study showed was that people who did this one particular hobby reduced their chance of dementia by 7%.
And these are older people?
Older people, 65.
Let me
they followed
take a
them from
guess.
65 to 75.
Let me take a guess. Is
Okay.
this something that you do as a couple?
You can. Yes, you can.
I like where
yes,
you're going with
absolutely.
this. Is it something
but you
that's
don't have to
done
be in a
in
couple.
private?
No.
Oh.
Well, it could be. But I think it's best known as a public hobby, public activity.
Sicko.
In couples and in private. I'm talking, of course, of Sudoku or Sudoku. No, because they looked into these things that you see all these advertisements for help your brain stay young, exercise your brain, and some of these crossword puzzles, jigsaw puzzles.
But this is the
Sudoku.
puzzles, right?
No. This is the physical activity of dancing.
And that's it?
Dancing.
That's the secret to longevity and long life?
At
is
least,
dancing?
to stave off dementia particularly.
Well, that's a
of
big
course,
one.
Of course, physical activity is going to help you help with longevity. Right? But they say there are various elements of dance.
Dancing's a physical.
It takes physical activity. It takes coordination, physical coordination. It takes socialization, which they say is a key.
Oh yeah,
to
for
this,
sure.
right? Which you don't get from these other mental exercises.
Yeah.
It encompasses all these attributes of dancing. It can be by yourself. When I say by yourself, I mean your room. Okay, great. But if you're at a club, if you go out somewhere, if you're a 65-year-old, you seen the old guys shaking on the dance floor. I see them all the time. I'm in a band that caters to this audience. Trust me, I know.
There you go.
My audience
but
will
also-
know who they're going to see in 10 years.
But what you're also doing is all those endorphins that get
Yes.
released when you're doing stuff with friends. I mean, they
Right,
say like
socialization is a key to fighting
so
off
huge.
dementia.
Also, do you dance? Are you a dancing person? You strike me as a dancer.
I'm a dancer.
Yeah.
From way back. It's funny because
Just something in your personality. I could tell. I said, this guy dances.
Well,
He dances hard.
I got moves. I got moves. And in the
He's
80s,
got moves like Winky.
I got the moobs like Jagger, the man moves like Jagger today. In the 80s, I could dance. I could dance, and my idiot buddies. We'd all go out to clubs together,
Sure.
and they're standing by the bar looking like John Travolta in Saturday Night Fever. But I said, "Hey guys, that guy danced. John Travolta didn't get girls because of the hair; he got them because of the dance.
Because he's dancing.
And I get out there and I'd be dancing, and I
And it would work.
I got okay.
Yeah.
I was your guy.
What kind of dancing do you still do? Do you still dance? Are you going to do? Is this study apply to you?
Yeah.
76%. You have a set. Let's see here. One study found that people who dance frequently, which is more than once a week, had a 76% lower risk of dementia than those that did so rarely.
That's a big number.
That's
massive,
a big
number.
76%. You promised me that. I'll dance once a
Right?
week.
Exercise, balance, creativity. All these things come in. Creativity. What do I do next? Having moves.
Yeah.
Your brain's working, your body's working in coordination. It works.
Also, if you're in a relationship, like if you're married, I can just envision, as my wife and I get older, dancing together. This is good for your relationship,
It's
too.
wonderful for your relationship. My wife's been after me, and I. This is a confession. I'm keeping it 100, as she likes to say. She's been after me to take dance classes with her.
You got to
so
do
I
it.
got to do it. I got to do it. She's worth it.
I'm in a phase of
dementia aside. She's worth it.
You got to do it. Yeah. Dementia aside. I was hoping to get dementia early, but I guess I'll stave it off.
It's coming for all. Not dementia particularly, but age is coming for all of us.
Absolutely.
And more people than ever we're finding out Alzheimer's, dementia, all these different things, all these different ailments that are under the umbrella of mental health.
I've really been under a new perspective in life over the last year or so. I have a friend who's dealing with a very difficult thing right now. And so it's put my
Gives you a sense of perspective,
Well, it gives
hasn't
you
it?
a sense of perspective and the things in life that matter.
Right.
And the things in life that later on, like I think about this all the time now. And maybe this is just a natural thought because I'm over 40 years old now.
So is my T-shirt, but go on.
It's a nice shirt. When you look back at your end of your life, what are you going to wish you did more of? I was talking about this with my wife last night, like very last night.
Really?
We had just gotten the kids down and tucked them into bed. And do you ever read Frog and Toad with your kids growing up?
I don't think we did.
Okay. Did you read Frog and Toad?
Love Frog and Toad. Oh, they're so good.
So
They're
sweet.
a morning show in Ohio, right?
They should be. They're very good. But it's the things that you like. I was talking about this with my wife last night. Like, you normally rush through. We talked about this earlier in the week.
Yeah.
You rush through these things.
You don't
that
catch
think-
the moments.
You forget
Yes.
that these things are fleeting and that life doesn't last forever.
Yes.
cherish these little moments. And it's just like dancing.
I can do Travolta's entire move from Pulp Fiction.
Shock your wife.
I can do that.
Do that dance for her.
I got that entire this. I got this.
You should sign up for a class. I bet you somebody listening runs a class.
Up on the toes. Got that.
Yeah. I mean, you don't need to do it to me.
I could.
Save it for her. I think it's going to be better for her.
Do this.
That's enough of that. I don't even need it anymore. I believe you. But we should get you in a dance class. You and your wife.
You know what? I don't make New Year's resolutions anymore, but this year my wife and I are taking dance classes.
Perfect.
You got it right here. Save this tape.
Do it. He's
going to
do dancing.
More often than I ride my bike to work.
All right. We'll be right back.
This is your city.
Seattle voters have spoken, and they wanted change.
Wilson really resonated, especially with some younger voters.
On the terms of working people, make it work for them.
Katie Wilson is just actually not afraid to say she's a socialist.
What challenges does the political newcomer face once taking office?
Never having any managerial experience.
Stay with KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com for the latest.
Change takes time, and we don't give it time.
And the KIRO Newsradio app.
Veterans, the new year's a good time to re-examine finances. If you're struggling with bills, VA loan expert Steve Teitler of Best Mortgage says he may have a solution.
Many veterans are sitting on a lot of home equity, and even with a low mortgage rate, your total monthly payments may be a struggle. The good news is with today's lower VA loan rates, you can do a VA cash-out refinance and pay off your high-interest rate debt and roll everything into one low monthly payment. For example, one VA client saved more than $1,200 per month. And remember, with a VA loan, you can buy a home with no money down.
And you always talk to a real person, not an AI robot.
That's right. Whether you're a veteran or seeking a conventional loan, you'll talk directly to me or an experienced senior advisor, never an AI bot.
Honest advice you can trust. From Best Mortgage, the VA loan experts. 425-649-6000. Best Mortgage. 425-649-6000.
I love the fact that Mike Novak sells more homes than anybody else. This guy works so hard. You know what's happening? People are selling their homes again. And if you don't have Mike Novak's name on that sign, well, you're wasting your time and your house is just going to be sitting on the market. Mike is so confident that he can sell your house quickly. And for more, you'll pay no commission if Mike Novak doesn't sell that home in 21 days. So go to meetthenovaks.com. I'll spell Novaks for you. Novaks. Meetthenovaks.com.
Start having fun. Caesar Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino Resort is your #1 place to eat, drink, watch, and have fun. Keep up with your favorite sports anywhere and everywhere on property with the mobile app. Visit muckleshootcasino.com today. Scan the QR code and let the play begin.
Muckleshoot. It's cold outside, and if you're noticing it's taking forever to heat your home, there are cold spots in certain rooms, your furnace turns off and on a lot, or it never stops, or maybe your energy bill is just way too high. These are all warning signs that your home needs a blanket. There may be something wrong with your insulation, which means not only are you uncomfortable in your own home, but you could be wasting hundreds or thousands of dollars a year in lost energy. Call Insulation Northwest today, and we'll send one of our professionals to give you a fast, free energy inspection to determine if there is a problem. And if there is a problem, we can fix it fast. Most jobs are completed in 1 day. You have nothing to lose. The inspection is free and only takes about an hour and could save you thousands. Keep the heat in, the cold out, and your energy bill low. Call Insulation Northwest today. Insulation Northwest, the real insulation company.
Please ask if you qualify for thousands of dollars of free rebates from your energy company.
InsulationNorthwest.com. This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800 800-292-4541 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-292-4541. That's 800-292-4541. What do you have to lose? Call 800-292-4541. Again, 800-292-4541.
Nothing makes a gathering great like Eggland's Best Eggs. They're just so delicious, with better nutrition too. It's eggs any style, as long as they're the best. Eggland's Best.
KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Pfizer.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. The Department of Homeland Security claims that the woman who was shot to death by an ICE officer yesterday committed an act of domestic terrorism. Minnesota's governor calls this reckless ICE mobilization and says the Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension says it cannot access evidence as the FBI takes the case.
We believe in states' rights. We believe the federal government needs to stay out of this. We believe that the situation has gotten worse and less safe because of their presence.
CBS's Linda Kenyon with comments by Vice President J.D. Vance.
The vice president was angry, especially at the media.
The way that the media, by and large, has reported this story has been an absolute disgrace.
Without evidence, Vance called the woman who was killed part of a movement of radical leftists. A movement, he said, that's trying to block ICE agents from carrying out immigration arrests.
The president stands with ICE. I stand with ICE. We stand with all of our law enforcement officers.
Vance also said the video shows the woman trying to run over the officer, but various angles have created many questions, and the full investigation is just beginning. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
The UN is pushing back on the Trump administration's plan to pull out of more than 30 UN initiatives. CBS's Cammie McCormick.
His spokesman says Secretary General Antonio Guterres regrets Trump's decision.
The United Nations has a responsibility to deliver for all those who depend on us, and we will continue to carry out our mandates with determination.
Stefan Dujarric says assessed contributions to the UN's budget are a legal obligation under the UN Charter, and that includes the United States. Trump wants to slash UN funding.
The Senate advances a war powers resolution which would limit President Trump's ability to order more strikes on Venezuela. Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer.
The Senate really took a critical step to reasserting its constitutional authority and towards stopping President Trump as he's lurching towards another endless, expensive war.
5 Republicans supported the measure: Rand Paul, Lisa Murkowski, Todd Young, Susan Collins, and Josh Hawley. And President Trump reacted on social media, saying they should never be elected to office again. More protests in Iran. It follows a call by the exiled crown prince for mass demonstrations. The protests, which started over Iran's struggling economy, have spread nationwide, with at least 45 deaths reported. And now, internet access has been cut off. On Wall Street, stocks closed mixed. The Dow jumped 269 points, the Nasdaq fell 104, and the S&P 500 was flat. This is CBS News.
You still got it, but your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Sponsored by Pfizer.
ICE arrests in Seattle. Details coming up. But first, KIRO News Radio traffic. Here's Nate Connors.
Thank you, Heather. That commute continues to look great across all of our major roadways this afternoon. In Canyon Park, we cleared that earlier crash northbound 527 at 405. If you're driving through Northgate right now, South 5 near 85th, looks like road maintenance crews are blocking that left lane. So you're backed up to Northgate Way. Just a brief backup here. In fact, once you get through it, you're wide open all the way through downtown Seattle. We still have a wind advisory at the Tacoma Narrows Bridge. And we're getting back to service on our Mukilteo-Clinton ferry route. The 1 o'clock departure just now leaving Clinton. And up next, the 1:30 departure out of Mukilteo. Then we're back on schedule. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon, I'm Heather Bosch. On a day when an ICE agent fatally shot a woman in Minneapolis, ICE was making arrests in Seattle. Witnesses tell police they saw ICE arrest 3 men at Evergreen Washelli Cemetery yesterday morning. Police Chief Sean Barnes confirms that federal agents were conducting enforcement duties. He says the SPD has no authority over ICE, but can document incidents and make sure rights are being respected. We have reached out to ICE for comment. Demonstrators gathered outside the federal building in Seattle last night to protest the fatal shooting of that Minneapolis mother by ICE agents. KIRO 7 TV's Samantha Lomibao was there.
We have hundreds of people who have taken this protest out to the streets to protest the deadly ICE shooting in Minneapolis that killed Renee Good. Now, it's a mix of the Seattle Alliance Against Racist and Political Oppression group, along with several other advocacy groups chanting against ICE, as you can hear them right now, and demanding justice for the woman killed.
The protest was overall peaceful. Just released body cam video shows first responders rescuing people after a stolen, speeding car plunged into water off the Edmonds Ferry dock in June.
Listen, we're going to throw you a life vest, okay? Hey, bro, can you hear me? Okay, can you climb that ladder for me?
3 people were injured. 2 of them died. The 29-year-old driver of the car was one of the survivors, and he's been charged with vehicular homicide. A Puyallup family is searching for their barbecue trailer, stolen right from their driveway. Larry Marco of Marco's Blackjack Barbecue says they're out thousands of dollars, but this is not just about money. It was a business the family did together.
It's a way that our family gets together and we have a great time, and it just gives us a reason to be together.
Puyallup police tell KIRO 7 TV they are investigating. A winter storm warning remains in effect for the mountains until about 4 this afternoon. Drivers making their way across Snoqualmie Pass during the storm tell KIRO 7 TV.
Pit stopped in Cle Elum last night because the roads were sketchy, and that was a good idea because it's been still bad this morning, but better than last night.
Not fun to drive in, but the skiing and snowboarding is expected to be excellent this weekend. KIRO News Radio weather, cloudy skies today with highs in the low 40s. It's 45 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO Newsradio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
And now, it's time for the Jake and Spike Show on KIRO News Radio with your hosts, Jake Skorheim and Spike O'Neill.
Welcome back to the show. 1 hour down, 2 hours to go. Lots of stuff to cover. For the next few minutes, we're going to dive into all the stuff that's happening in Minnesota, but there's some local connections too, because we now have local politicians who have voiced their thoughts on these things, and the entire Spike, do you have? We talked about this just very briefly at the start of the show. Watching as politicians from all sides rush to find a microphone or to social media to stake their side of things before any investigation is taking place, before anybody has done anything but watch the video that we've all seen, is very annoying to me. And every single time one of these things happens, it feels like instantly everybody just goes, all right, let's scurry to our corners and let's go as quickly as we can to drawing very, very specific opinions about something that we don't know much about yet.
Yeah, a rush to have and to be fair to the elected officials.
Rush to have a hot take?
Yeah, well, to be fair to these folks, we come at them for opinions. They're our elected leaders. They call them leaders for a reason. These are people who represent us. We made our choice as voters. But whether it's a representative, a senator, a congressman, whomever it may be, a president, a vice president, a cabinet member, these are our elected leaders.
Well,
so we ask them, and they have a responsibility to have to make a statement. All about having an opinion. They have the right to an opinion, the responsibility to have a position and make a statement. But to your point, and I think it's the right one, and we mentioned this earlier, the common sense, patience, and the time it takes to get information, to not rush to take a side, to defend your tribe's position.
Yeah.
Whether I saw congressional members literally chased up the steps of Congress. Or what do you think about the shooting in Minnesota? Here's a representative from Ohio. Here's a representative from Georgia. Here's a representative from nowhere near Minnesota. And these are our leaders. We want to know what they feel. But the calmest point of view I've heard, I mentioned this earlier too, Tom Holman. Is he the border czar? What is his official capacity?
Yep.
I know there's a more probably official name than czar in his, but he is He's an elected official. He served in multiple administrations of the Trump administration. I've disagreed with many of his takes and points of view in various incidents that we've gone through in the first year of this administration. But yesterday he was not going to make any assessment of this or any judgment on this until a full investigation is had, and the investigation should go where it leads.
Let me play that audio.
Yeah.
Here you go.
I think the city of Minneapolis is on edge. I think the country is on edge right now. You say the investigation is ongoing.
Investigation just started.
Just started. You say you can't comment on the video, which many Americans are seeing and reacting to.
I'm not going to make a judgment call on one video when there's 100 videos out there. I wasn't on the scene. I'm not an officer that may have body cam video. It'd be unprofessional to comment on what I think happened in that situation. Let the investigation play out.
There you go, right there. It'd be unprofessional comment until the investigation plays out.
And hold people accountable based on the investigation.
I think many members of the public are calling for the same thing, and so they're confused. Maybe you can help me understand how the Department of Homeland Security could conclude so swiftly that this is a, quote, act of domestic terrorism, that this woman, quote, weaponized her vehicle. By the very same standard you described, this investigation is just getting started.
That's the question for Homeland Security. I'm the border czar. Well, I can tell you what I've seen on my airplane ride here, looking at numerous videos, seeing numerous social media posts, statements from Homeland Security, statements from Secretary Noem. I'll leave it at that. I mean, let's invest. What good is it to do right now to me prejudge the facts of what happened today without giving law enforcement professionals, whether it's the FBI or the local police there, give them time to look at all the videos, talk to all the witnesses, talk to the officers, and make an educated decision on what occurred today. That's what needs to happen. I've been a cop since 1984. That is the process we must go through.
You're totally right, Spike. I mean, it's a super reasonable response.
It is. It's a cautious,
let the investigation play out.
Yes. It's a reasoned response. It's a responsible. He said it's irresponsible to make these comments that we've seen from both sides of the aisle, from both tribes, if you will.
Let me play you. I'm going to play you Kristi Noem, is what she said, and then I'm going to follow it up with what Senator Patty Murray said, responding to it. So here's Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem.
It was an act of domestic terrorism. What happened was our ICE officers were out in an enforcement action. They got stuck in the snow because of the adverse weather that is in Minneapolis. They were attempting to push out their vehicle, and a woman attacked them and those surrounding them and attempted to run them over and ram them with her vehicle. An officer of ours acted quickly and defensively shot to protect himself and the people around him. And my understanding is that she was hit and is deceased. We're continuing to gather more information, but this goes to show the assaults that our ICE officers and our law enforcement are under every single day.
So this was Senator Patty Murray's response to that. She said, conducting immigration enforcement doesn't mean you execute American citizens in the street. Which, again, this was a couple hours after this incident happened when we're all watching it kind of spread like viral on social media. How does she's calling it an execution. Is that fair language for Senator Patty Murray?
I think it's irresponsible language. I think it is. I think what she says
she's getting attention, which is what I think she wants.
Well, of course she is. Well, again, and I said, they owe us a take. They're our elected leaders. We come to them. I'm sure she ran to a microphone, but reporters came to her.
Let me ask you,
Senator Murray,
though.
what do you think about what happened in Minnesota?
Well, she put this out on social media, so I don't know if she's
yeah. But she has a responsibility to do this. But I also want to keep in mind, Yes, she does. Not to make an irresponsible statement. She has responsibility to say, look, a horrible, tragic incident occurred in Minneapolis. There are a lot of things to investigate and to uncover before we make a decision as to whether it was a justifiable self-defense shooting by an ICE agent or if it was abuse of power and excessive force and led to the unwarranted killing of an American citizen. I can write a better statement than that, and I'm not elected to anything.
She should hire you, by the way, just as a consultant, because that would have been much better. But
if your job is to be accountable, then yes. But if your job is to just get your base fired up, then she's spot on.
Because that's what I feel like she was attempting to do there. I feel like by calling it an execution and then by saying that DHS is lying, she uses the word lying. Now,
okay, go back to Kristi Noem's statement, because everything she said in that statement it's not just rush to judgment inflammatory. They weren't stuck on the snow. They weren't pushing their vehicles out. She didn't attack them. None of that was true. None of that's true.
Here's what I would say, though. Do you know for a fact that those vehicles weren't stuck in the snow? The ice agent vehicles?
Yes, because I saw one. She had her vehicle blocking the street. You can argue all day long whether she had a civil right to do that or not.
Sure.
She was blocking the procession of an ice parade of vehicles down the street of that neighborhood, because that's what the civil group was trying to do, was alert their neighbors about the presence of an ice operation.
Mm-hmm.
She blocked the street. One of the vehicles went around her car to block her exit, parked clearly on the other side of her stopped vehicle, while the other vehicle pulled up to her vehicle and stopped, and guys got out. Nobody was stuck in the snow. Nobody slid on the ice. These guys both maneuvered their car. Just my opinion from what I saw.
I've seen multiple vehicles.
They weren't pushing
one vehicle.
No, one pulled in front of her car.
No, I'm not saying one couldn't have also had traction. I'm saying that it is possible that there was a vehicle that was stuck in the snow. That's how she got in front of them and decided to block them on their exit.
That's not what I'm. Maybe so. And I don't know.
The point is, she was in the middle of the street. It seems from the video.
No, she was. She's for 3 minutes
impeding a law enforcement investigation.
She was impeding an operation. Yes.
Here's the thing. It's very sad that she died.
It's horrible that she died.
It's very sad. She's 37 years old. For some reason, she convinced herself that she needed to be in Minneapolis following ICE agents around that day. I don't know why, but that's what she was doing, apparently.
She felt that was her civic responsibility.
She has a 15-year-old, a 12-year-old, and a 6-year-old who don't have a mom now.
Yeah.
Because she felt like in her Honda Pilot, she was going to go around and do this.
That's not why she's not there today. I can't say that she put herself in a position, and that's why she's dead. She put herself in a position. She's now dead because of...
I'm not saying that she assumed she was going to get killed doing the job.
No,
I'm saying if she had not been there...
She stayed home, she'd be alive today.
Yes.
I get that. And I've seen people post...
Her brother-in-law. I saw her brother-in-law post a thing. He goes, listen, it's very sad. He goes, I don't know why she was there. I don't think she needed to be there.
Well, and that's his opinion and right to have that. And her opinion was that she felt a responsibility civilly to stand up for her neighbors in that community. Because there's a lot of instances where people who didn't deserve the treatment they're getting from ICE agents.
Is that her community?
Yes.
Does she live there?
I believe she did. Maybe was she in town? I don't know.
I'm confused as to her point of origin, actually.
Well, does it matter? Does it matter if she comes from another state to help support a community that's been targeted by this operation? They sent 2,000 agents to Minneapolis because of this large Somali community there.
I would think it's probably not a great idea for somebody to go in front of law enforcement.
No, I'm with you. That's a risky maneuver.
That's a risky maneuver. It puts them in a risky situation. It puts you in a risky situation.
Yeah.
I wouldn't recommend it to anyone.
You know, if she had used her vehicle, and maybe the investigation will find out that she did use her vehicle as a weapon. You know, that would warrant her.
Did you watch the video?
I did 1,000 times.
Did it look
I've seen 4 different videos.
What did it look like? Here's what I think it looked like happened. I don't think she thought what she was doing was as serious as the situation she found herself in.
She was blocking the road.
She's blocking the road.
Yes.
An agent appears at her agent. They tell her to get out of there. She doesn't. They tell her to get out of the vehicle.
They direct her to leave the area in that car.
She doesn't appear to respond to their orders.
Not within the 10 seconds of the order given. Yeah.
Then somebody walks over and puts his hand on the door.
Tries to open the car door.
She has the door locked. She then attempts to back up momentarily.
She backs up. Mm-hmm.
There's somebody in front of the vehicle then at this point who has his weapon drawn.
Draws his weapon as she starts to look
She accelerates. It appears to me that the vehicle's wheels slipping on ice because it's very icy on the road. The agents themselves are almost unable to stand on the road. It's very icy. It's very cold in Minnesota right now. The vehicle finally does gain traction. She starts moving forward. That agent is kind of bumped by the front of her vehicle.
Right.
And in a split second, he makes the decision to fire. Could he have gotten out of the way? That's going to be part of the investigation.
Well, I've seen that.
Should he have put himself in front of the vehicle to begin with? That's going to be part of the investigation.
I've seen so many different statutes from state perspective, from federal perspective about you're not supposed to put yourself in front of a vehicle. Being in front of a vehicle doesn't you put yourself at risk at that point. But here's the thing: a key element of this is she backs up and turns her wheels hard to the right. Hard to the right. That's clear in a lot of different still photographs, slowed videos of this.
Sure.
As she was looking to leave the area, in my opinion, looking to leave the area.
Well, yeah, I'm sure at that point she's like, listen, I got to stop begging these guys doing their job.
Right, and that's when the officer fires into her vehicle.
After she hits him.
Well, no. I don't know.
Did she accelerates into a guy in front of her.
She accelerates into.
He is as close to her vehicle as you are to me right now. He's in front of her hood.
He is in front of he's directly in front of her as the driver.
Yes.
Can we agree on that?
His knees are in front of her bumper.
Yeah, she hit him with her car. Yes.
So my question is,
we will never know intent. That's the thing.
We don't. I think she probably thought, I'm going to get out of here. He's going to step out of the way.
And he did.
I don't think she was trying to run him over. Is my guess.
So I'm with you, and I agree wholeheartedly. And I watched 100 videos.
And I don't know if he thought to himself, I'm going to fire a bullet that ends up taking her life. I think both of them reacted in a split-second decision.
Yeah. The difference here is, go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Go ahead.
Difference is he's a trained law enforcement professional.
Yeah.
And I know it was a split-second decision. But in a split second, a trained, highly trained, guy's got 10 years experience.
Yeah.
A highly trained officer is supposed to use the discretion to know when lethal force is required and not. That's why we give him lethal force.
But when somebody is hitting you with their vehicle, even if it's somebody who's not intending to run you over, but they're still hitting you with their vehicle after there's been orders to leave the area. You're not leaving the area. Get out of your vehicle. You're not getting out of your vehicle.
Right.
Then she's driving into him. He's now making a different decision than he would have made if she.
Yeah, you're right.
So the whole thing is so convoluted and crazy.
It is. So to call her a domestic terrorist, a violent protester, a paid agitator, she's been called all these things by elected officials, high-ranking elected officials.
I don't know how they're making those comments.
And we're talking about the irresponsibility of rushing to judgment and digging in your heels from a tribal perspective.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're talking about. And I don't agree with it when it's from my side. I don't agree with it from the other side.
Yeah.
I think Patty Murray has no more ground to stand on than does Kristi Noem or Donald Trump.
She should have just said, "Hey,
or any of them.
Let's take a minute and acknowledge a sad thing happened. There's an investigation."
And can we talk about the hat? Come on. I don't mean to be petty. That's a 10-gallon hat on a 2-gallon head. Kristi Noem. She is unqualified for the position.
I didn't see that.
Let's make a quick larger point, if I may.
Yeah.
This whole incident speaks to the unprofessionalism, the unqualified nature of the people making these decisions, whether it's the guy on the street in Minnesota or the guy running the department who was there for the photo op, or the head of the DHS themselves who rushes to a microphone, speaking of running to a microphone, to make an inflammatory statement labeling this woman a domestic terrorist.
I fully support everything that you're saying for yourself. I don't agree with all of it, but
that's what
we
I love
can have
about this
different
country.
opinions.
Yeah.
I'm going to play. Does this do anything for you though, with context to the story? So the agent, and he hasn't been identified yet. His name hasn't come out yet.
I've seen him doxed online, but I'm not going to validate it or
we don't have to do that. But he's an ICE agent. He's apparently got about 10 years of service.
By accounts I've seen, he was involved in an incident 6 months ago where he was dragged by a vehicle.
Listen to this.
What began as a planned federal immigration
This is a different incident. This is in Minnesota. This is back in June.
arrest took a violent turn in this quiet Bloomington neighborhood, and it was all caught on camera. According to a federal complaint, agents were executing a warrant for 39-year-old Roberto Carlos Munoz. They say Munoz entered the country unlawfully, and he also pled guilty to fourth-degree criminal sexual conduct back in 2023 for abusing a minor. Tuesday morning, agents pulled him over. Court documents say he repeatedly refused to comply before a federal agent took out his spring-loaded window punch with his right hand and broke the driver's side rear window.
Now, listen to this carefully, because this is apparently the same agent involved in the case yesterday.
These
And
images show the
trying to make an arrest of a convicted child sex offender.
The officer's hand in the vehicle. In this video, you can see the driver take off with the agent hanging from the car, dragging him 300 feet through front yards. These graphic images show the aftermath. A bloody agent who needed 33 stitches for his significant cuts. The Department of Justice says a request for Munoz to be held after that 2022 arrest was, quote, not honored by local authorities, and Munoz was released.
Which is why they were going after him. But so the context is now widened with this guy's history of being hit by vehicles, and then you think about him standing in front of that woman's vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
The whole story is just tragic.
Should he be in this position after going through that 6 months ago? Does he have PTSD from that incident?
I have no idea.
Is he prejudiced in how he handles interactions with the community after that incident? I don't know either. But I again point back to failed leadership and oversight on this. If here's a guy who's been through a traumatic experience, dragged by a car, requiring 30 stitches, this guy's traumatized. This guy's physically injured.
Well, people experience it differently. He might.
He may.
He may.
I'm not saying he is.
There's people out there who don't like to hear negative words on the internet. They need time off work. There's just different levels of people experiencing trauma.
I hear you.
And he may be a guy who's like, hey, you know what? I'm fine. I can do the job. And I'm out there getting people that like this child sex offender that he was trying to pull off the road there.
Now we're talking about a 37-year-old mother who's using her civil liberties
well, you don't have
to
a
her
civil
Constitutional protection protest.
You don't have the civil liberty to hit your car into a law
No,
enforcement
but
officer.
she does have the civil right to block traffic.
That's not. No, you don't.
Sure, it is. It's a protest. It's not a lethal punishable crime.
That's not your right to block traffic. You can't block traffic.
No,
you can't. We saw that here in Seattle.
You got the right to protest and suffer the consequences.
But it's not your right to do so. You're saying that it's okay to break the law because it's your right to do so?
Sure. Well, I'm not.
With no consequences?
I'm not. That's not what I said at all.
Oh, okay.
I said she's got the right to civilly protest, and if that protest exceeds legal boundaries, she's going to be
civilly protesting and breaking the law are different things.
Well,
right?
that's true. And what is
so
the
that's not what she was doing.
What's the consequence for civil protest then? Move your vehicle, maybe even arrest.
Which is what they tried to do to her until she hit her vehicle into the guy. Apparently,
I've seen educated opinions that say they don't have the right to tell her to stop or leave her vehicle. As ICE agents in that community, I don't know. I don't know either. But I'm not running to a microphone. Well, I am running to a microphone. But I'm not
literally in front of a microphone.
But I'm not calling the guy a murderer. I'm not calling her a domestic terrorist. I think it's a sense of accountability and responsibility.
You and I are a little more reserved in our.
I would hope the same from those we choose to be our leaders.
Yeah, I think that's wise. All right, we got a lot more coming up. Stick around. Next, speaking of leaders, nice. We have a reversal on some guidelines, some food and alcohol guidelines.
This, I think, might be real leadership.
I think it's going to add some joy to your weekend.
We're seeing real leadership.
Yeah. We'll talk about that next. Stick around.
This hour is brought to you by Insulation Northwest.
Newly elected Seattle Mayor Katie Wilson goes one-on-one with John Curley in a KIRO Newsradio exclusive.
This thing's now swirled up. Now national news has picked this up, talking about the police arresting people that are openly doing drugs.
I think this whole episode has taught me about the power of a rumor. The policy remains what it has been, which is we have an ordinance in Seattle around drug use and possession.
Watch the full interview and subscribe to KIRO News Radio on YouTube.
Welcome back to Winter Hack Radio, the place for clever hacks to survive the season. Icy driveway? Well, try spreading sand or birdseed to help with traction. Snowy puppy paws? Well, grab a whisk, brush it off, done. Catch COVID-19? Well, just get...
Actually, there's no hack for COVID-19. But if you test positive, prescription medications for COVID exist. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
You still thinking job change in the new year? Yeah, I need something that's in high demand and more stable in this economy. IT? Yeah, cybersecurity, maybe even AI. That's what I did. Really? How? Went to My Computer Career. You don't need any prior experience, and you could start your new career in a matter of months. A lot of IT pros go to school there, too, to level up. Sweet. Are classes online or on campus? Both. Wow, I'll check it out. Thanks.
Make this your year. Take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu, an Elite CompTIA certification partner.
Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Now is your time to get into a new D.R. Horton home by taking advantage of its National Red Tag Sales event going on right now through January 25th. Stop by any of its participating communities and find select Red Tag homes at incredible pricing. So whether you're buying your first home or looking for an upgrade, you don't want to miss the Red Tag Sales event going on right now. Discover the D.R. Horton difference. Visit drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder and equal housing opportunity builder. Start having fun. Caesar Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino Resort is your #1 place to eat, drink, watch, and have fun. Keep up with your favorite sports anywhere and everywhere on property with the mobile app. Visit muckleshootcasino.com today. Scan the QR code and let the play begin.
Muckleshoot. Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. I came out in the 11th grade. Nobody was embracing you. The kids were cruel. It was very difficult to be gay.
Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma. The hard part was determining that I was going to do it, but I definitely didn't do it alone.
At age 30, with the help of her mentor, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
I have a mentor, Maria. She convinced me to continue my education and to finish what I started to get my diploma. Just never judges. She's a true role model. If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, go get it. You can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Join Northwest Hope and Healing for Cork, Fork, and Support, an afternoon of wine tasting and inspiration, benefiting local breast and gynecologic cancer patients. Get your tickets now for January 31st. Go to nwhopeandhealing.org to learn more.
1-877 Cards for Kids. KARS Cards for Kids. 1-877 Cards for Kids. Donate your card today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. That's Cars with a K to donate your car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to carsforkids.org. That's carsforkids.org.
No heat, electrical issues, frozen pipes, no power? John Curley here, recommending you call Home Comfort Alliance. For over 40 years, doing heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical right, including standby generators. Call the comfort people at homecomfortalliance.com.
Guys, feeling low energy or low drive? It could be low testosterone. At Revive Men's Health, start with a free T-check and consultation. And this month only, qualified patients may receive 25% off TRT. Book now at revivemenshealth.com. Terms apply, must medically qualify.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon, I'm Aaron Granillo. We are learning today about a federal immigration operation in North Seattle. Police say witnesses saw 3 men being arrested yesterday by ICE agents at a cemetery on Aurora Avenue. Seattle City Council member Bob Kettle tells me it appears the men were first confronted at a nearby Home Depot.
I don't think we need full battle rattle at the Home Depot on Aurora. I don't think we need that type of approach, mask and with that kind of, tactical gear.
No details yet on those individuals who were detained by ICE. We have reached out to the agency for comments. The operation came on the same day as that fatal shooting in Minneapolis where an ICE agent shot and killed a woman. It has sparked protests around the nation, including in Seattle last night. CBS's Linda Kenyon reports the vice president has now weighed in.
The vice president spoke about turning down the temperature following the shooting.
The best way to turn down the temperature is to tell people to take their concerns about immigration policy to the ballot box,
while simultaneously turning up the temperature.
You people in the media, not everybody in this room, but many people in this room have been lying about this attack.
Vance said the woman who was killed was trying to ram the officer with her vehicle. Various video angles raise questions, and an investigation is just beginning. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
President Trump is lashing out at a few Republicans who voted with Democrats on a resolution to limit his ability to make more attacks on Venezuela. Missouri Republican Josh Hawley was one of 5 in his party who supported that resolution.
I don't see this as a backward-looking thing. I see this as a forward-looking thing. If this resolution is limited to Venezuela.
Washington U.S. Senator Patty Murray spoke in favor of the War Powers resolution. She says the president has gone too far.
First, Trump was just bombing alleged drug boats. Then Trump was just seizing oil shipments. And the next thing you know, this administration is sending the military to abduct a foreign leader.
Analysts say this resolution has a little chance of passing the Republican-controlled House. On Wall Street today, the Dow gained 270, NASDAQ down 104, S&P was largely flat. It did gain a half point. That takes us to 133. We go to Nate Connors at the real-time traffic desk.
Thank you, Aaron. South 5 heading into Seattle. It is packed through Northgate down to Lake City Way, and then you'll open up right away. In fact, from there, it opens up all the way through downtown Seattle. I think we've got road maintenance operations there near Lake City Way causing our backup. Linwood to Seattle still doing pretty good at just 20 minutes. This is the only backup on our map right now. It's a great drive across the region this afternoon. We do still have a wind advisory for those crossing the Tacoma Narrows Bridge. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Spotty showers this afternoon and more mountain snow with highs today in the mid-40s. Right now, 45 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Welcome back to the show. Spike, you are not a heavy drinker, are you?
Not anymore. Had my day, though.
Yeah.
I had my day.
You certainly got in plenty for one lifetime, do you think?
I did. Yeah, God gave me a big fat bottle. I drank it all. I'm out. Go. It's not his fault. It's mine.
Some people finish quicker than others.
That's right.
So these new guidelines, these new alcohol guidelines, these probably won't have anything to do with you. This won't affect you in any meaningful way. But there are new alcohol guidelines, according to Dr. Mehmet Oz. Dr. Oz, as he's more commonly known. He's the administrator for the Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services, and he says that people need to kind of lighten up a little bit, have a few drinks.
Lighten up I thought you meant
have some drink, not lighten up like they're too fat.
Oh,
but that's probably not
a bad idea.
Not bad advice. Right. But he says, listen to what he says about alcohol guidelines changing, and what do you think about this? I'm interested in your take on this.
So alcohol is a social lubricant that brings people together. In the best case scenario, I don't think you should drink alcohol, but it does allow people an excuse to bond and socialize, and there's probably nothing healthier than having a good time with friends in a safe way. If you look at the blue zones, for example, around the world where people live the longest, alcohol is sometimes part of their diet. Again, small amounts, taken very judiciously, and usually in a celebratory fashion. So there is alcohol on these dietary guidelines, but the implication is don't have it for breakfast. Right, this should be something done in a small amount with hopefully some kind of an event that might have alcohol added.
It's good advice.
Pancakes for dinner is fine, but alcohol for breakfast, that's where we're going to draw the line here.
It works one way, but not the other.
But that's a very common sense point of view.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You see these stories of the little lady in an Italian village of whatever.
Yeah.
She drinks a glass of wine with every meal. She's 108.
What do they call? Yes,
right?
The blue zones he just mentioned.
Yes,
yeah, and they just live forever.
An exercise liver is a healthy liver.
There you go.
Right?
Can be. Just don't
take your liver for a walk around the block.
Don't exercise it too much.
No, don't.
What's so crazy to me?
Don't run it into the ground.
This is. There's always this reactionary stuff every time a new policy is announced. These are now critics. Which is fine. I mean, their job is to, tell people not to drink. So this is from a Washington Post article. Critics scoffed at the characterization that it's a social lubricant and fun.
Really?
Which objectively is true when done legally. Saying Oz was echoing talking points from the alcohol industry. Mike Marshall, CEO of the U.S. Alcohol Policy Alliance.
As Dr. Oz sat on his chair made of Crown Royal bags, his purple velvet chair made of Crown Royal bags,
counting his money, called the statement irresponsible and said the pared-down guidelines fly in the face of Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s Make America Healthy Again movement. Alcohol is toxic, addictive carcinogen, Marshall said. The fact that guidelines are going backward is disappointing and alarming. I don't think anybody, even in his statement there, he didn't say that you should drink it a lot.
He specifically said,
he
don't
said
abuse
best
it.
case scenario.
Wait till lunch, he said.
Yeah.
I'm paraphrasing.
Wait until brunch.
Right.
If you have to start mixing it with a juice.
Right.
Yeah. But he says in the clip.
I'm no fan of the Bloody Mary or mimosa. It's a slippery slope.
Young people.
They put vegetables in it like it's a salad.
Yeah. Do you think it can be useful, though? He does say as a social lubricant.
Of course. To celebrate life. To
celebrate life.
To enhance an experience. What great
Since time
meal.
immemorial, people have raised a drink to celebrate moments.
Throughout all civilization.
Yes.
I watch a lot of Game of Thrones. Ain't a lot of water being drank on that show. They're all drinking wine.
Well, okay, so that's an interesting thing about Game of Thrones.
It's not historically accurate, by the way.
Well, it's not completely historically accurate because it is fictional. But did you know back in the day, they did drink a lot less water because you
couldn't trust it.
You couldn't trust it.
Right.
So the reason that they drank, like our founding fathers of our nation, when they would have breakfast, they did do morning drinking.
Right.
There was a bucket of beer or a barrel of beer.
Yes.
You dip it in. That would be your ale to drink your breakfast with. They would also drink water. I'm not saying they exclusively drank ales.
But alcohol will kill bacteria.
It kills bacteria.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It made it safe to drink. The alcohol percentage back then was way, way less. It was like into the nature of like 1.5% to 2%.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Way, way, way less.
Oh, I just thought they were hardier people.
They were also hardier people.
They worked all day. They worked all day.
100%. Yes. They're out in the fields toiling.
They were all dead by 40, but there was a different time.
Well, yeah.
A lot more predators.
They live fast
in your neighborhood.
A great life. A fast, great life.
To Dr. Oz's defense, and I don't know that I would ever say this, these are revolutionary days for me.
Yeah.
In Dr. Oz's defense, alcohol is getting a bad rap. For these people to come out and argue, it's poison, it's toxic, it's deadly. When abused, what isn't?
Yes.
He's
not saying it's not.
No, he specifically said, wait till lunch, wait till brunch. You clarified.
Probably more people are dying from eating too much cheese than they are from alcohol abuse, I would guess.
Yeah, it's true.
Think about heart disease and all these things.
Yeah.
From being fat and all these different horrible things. I mean, alcohol can contribute to that.
The Make America Healthy movement has its problems. There are some things that they do. I don't know.
Sure.
But this one, I'm all for this. It doesn't fly in the face of Maha.
Do you
to
think
say, enjoy life and use a little alcohol as a social lubricant? Get the courage up to go say hi to that man or woman.
That's the thing too, because young people don't drink.
They don't drink.
Have you seen these stats?
We're going to die off as a species. These
Young
people can't
are
approach
not
the opposite
drinking.
sex.
They're not drinking. They're not having school dances anymore. And I'm not saying those two should happen at the same time. They shouldn't.
No, they're evolutionary steps toward civilizational
We've
growth.
had stories on this show where you have high schools who are canceling dances because of lack of interest from the students.
No one's to go. They're going to go stand against the wall, look at their phone.
Yeah.
They're going to text somebody across the room instead of walking up and saying hi.
You need to
That's what
let
they
these
do.
kids, be young and have fun and
go in the woods. Pull your money for a keg. I'm kidding.
Let me
I'm
ask
kidding.
you. No, but here's a question for you. Honest question. When you met your wife, were there some times where you guys, where maybe it was a little easier to get to know each other? Because it's really awkward to get to know potential love interests right away. Because you're, you're both interested. You're kind of keeping a little bit of a distance because you're not familiar with each other yet. It helps sometimes.
Right.
I mean,
I mentioned earlier that I danced when I was younger. That's how I got to, it gave me a leg up, if you will, about meeting the opposite sex.
There you go.
Trust me, there was a drink in one hand. Trust me.
It makes you a better dancer.
It really does.
At
Social
least
lubricant.
your perception of your
It's
dancing
a
gets
military
better.
term, right?
You may not actually be a better dancer, but you feel like you're a better dancer. But yeah, so young people are not drinking. Listen to this. Gallup found that in 2022, let's see, rates have decreased for younger people. Yeah, super steep decline for young people since 2022. They're just not drinking alcohol. Instead, they're just staring at their phones. They're not partying. They're not going out. They're having fun. They're not going to bars and meeting each other.
We don't want to. I'm not trying to romanticize or glorify the days of excessive drinking in my past. There were many. I'm lucky. I mean, I'm the kind of guy.
You've talked about how that's negative.
It's a negative thing, and I learn from my mistakes. It's the liver, the burned liver teaches best, if I may.
Yeah.
But you have to go through those moments of all lessons in life come with a little bit of pain. That's how you learn not to do stupid things again.
Sure.
Right. But to vilify alcohol completely, Dr. Oz isn't trying to do that. And people come out to say that Dr. Oz is giving misinformation, dangerous misinformation to the public, saying that alcohol has a place in societal growth. No.
Yeah.
Come on.
Come on. Mike Marshall, CEO of the U.S. Alcohol Policy Alliance. Be cool, man. Be cool.
Chill.
All right. When we come back, this will be fun. When we come back, we're going to look. There's a new food pyramid. Have you seen this? New food pyramid?
Speaking of health and growth and evolution.
This is going to be
new food pyramid.
I'm now following guidelines this weekend. I'm going to have a wonderful weekend.
The old food pyramid was paid for by vested interest groups.
100%.
No way I need that much grain in a day. No
Who needs
way.
that much bread?
What am I, a cow?
All I hear about now is how bad bread is for you. All the time. What are you eating so much bread for?
That was the basis of the food pyramid?
All I'm supposed to eat,
loaf of Wonder
according
Bread?
to that, is bread. So we'll talk about the food pyramid next, the new one, what's it look like, and how you can get healthy, all these fun things.
There's return to saturated fats, vilified saturated fats.
There's an interesting history there. Have we talked about this?
Not yet, but I'm looking forward to this.
When they convinced everybody that you were supposed to start eating seed oils, have you read into this?
I have read into this. Yeah.
It's one of those conspiracies that's true.
Yep, money talks.
Money gets you to drink a lot of seed oils. Eat a lot of seed oils, I should say. We'll talk about that next. Stick around. We'll be right back.
The Closing Bell is brought to you by Trajan Wealth Management.
Seattle voters wanted change.
I campaigned on affordability, on homelessness, on taxing the rich.
Can Mayor Wilson live up to the promises of candidate Wilson?
The self-proclaimed progressive socialist managing high expectations.
Trusted Northwest News voices you depend on.
More government programs, which means more tax dollars.
KIRO News Radio on 97.3 FM. And the KIRO Newsradio app.
For seniors, the new year is a good time to reassess finances. If you're struggling with bills, our friend Steve Teitler of Best Mortgage says a reverse mortgage may be a great way to ease your stress.
Seniors tell me all the time, we love our home, we'd love to stay here, but we just can't afford it anymore. A reverse mortgage lets you tap your home equity for tax-free cash to pay off your mortgage, pay off your debts, and maybe put some extra money in the bank. You've worked hard for that home equity. Now let your home work for you. And best of all, you'll have no mortgage payments the rest of your life.
And you always talk to a real person, not an AI robot.
That's right. You'll get a no-pressure consultation directly from me. Never a sales pitch and never an AI bot.
Honest advice you can trust from Best Mortgage, the reverse mortgage experts, the VA loan and debt consolidation experts too. 425-649-6000. Best Mortgage, 425-649-6000.
Eric Johnson here. I spent the past 30 years working to help make our community better informed, better protected when it comes to consumer issues, and better equipped to take on whatever life throws at us. That's why I love the free Washington Accident book series from Davis Law Group. These books keep us better informed about the law, better able to protect ourselves on and off the road, and better off when all is said and done after an accident. Chris Davis didn't have to write these books. He did it because he saw a need. People who were in accidents or other legal situations didn't know what to do, what pictures to take, documents to request. Only a tiny fraction of the people who get these free books will ever become clients of Davis Law Group, but that's not the point. Chris wrote them because it was the right thing to do. The free Washington Accident book series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the road might throw at them. Get yours at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
How about a New Year's resolution where the commitment takes just one day and the results can last a lifetime? Address years of hair loss like I did with Advanced Hair's simple one-day treatment. Using your own natural hair, Advanced Hair can restore your bald spot, receding hairline, or thinning. All backed by Advanced Hair's guarantee. Celebrate the new year with a free consultation, $250 off, and 250 free hair grafts. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
Adrian here from Lake Washington Windows and Doors. Winter might seem like an odd time to replace your windows, but now is when you get the best deals. Our Leak Armor installation team will keep your home warm and dry while installing beautiful, new energy-efficient windows. You'll feel the difference right away. Quieter rooms, lower energy bills, and a more comfortable home.
Right now, save $600 on windows and $1,500 on doors from Lake Washington Windows and Doors. Plus, enjoy 12 months same-as-cash financing. Visit LakeWashingtonWindows.com.
Start the new year taking active liver supplements from New Nordic. Online at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com or at CVS, ShopRite, Meijer Grocery, or Wegmans.
Confidence with winter driving starts at Subaru of Puyallup. Find stress-free pricing and a stress-free experience at SubaruofPuyallup.com. Subaru of Puyallup, your stress-free dealership.
Now is your time to get into a new D.R. Horton home by taking advantage of its National Red Tag Sales event going on right now through January 25th. Stop by any of its participating communities and find select Red Tag homes at incredible pricing. So whether you're buying your first home or looking for an upgrade, you don't want to miss the Red Tag Sales event going on right now. Discover the D.R. Horton difference. Visit drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder and equal housing opportunity builder.
All right, welcome back to the show. We are talking about new food pyramids, which is exciting if you're a person who
Hot
follows
talk.
food pyramids.
Got a hot take on food.
Yeah.
I like food hot.
I don't eat anything in life without first consulting my food pyramid, which I've had since I was a small child. But I was shocked today because they've changed it and they have new things now. It's basically an inverted pyramid. Have you seen this?
I'm looking at it now for the first time. I heard the story on the news.
Yeah.
From our own news reporters about how they're changing the food pyramid. And this new HHS director, Kennedy, Jr., RFK Jr., saying that, and we talked just a couple seconds ago about how polyunsaturated fats were fed that regular fats, the fats that like millennia of civilization has lived and thrived upon,
yes,
were somehow bad for us.
Animal fats.
Right. And now we need like every kind of seed oil known to man. We'll squeeze the juice out of anything.
So you said that you had also read into seed oils?
Yes.
Can you tell the audience a little bit about that? Because I saw a little blurb about when this first idea was like when they were talking about changing these things, and they're always changing them. We have a picture of the new one up right now on the page, on the YouTube. When they were first talking about doing that, I saw this tiny little blurb about how seed oils were introduced, like your canolas and all those different oils.
Sure.
Your olives. I can't think of another one.
Avocados.
Avocado.
You name it, man.
All these oils. When those were introduced as being a better alternative to animal fats, which again we've been eating for thousands of years.
Right, now this new pyramid is not without controversy because many leading cardiological experts say that red meat is still very bad, and just just like alcohol, in moderation, and in excess, anything is bad for you.
But
you can run yourself into the grave. Seed oils, the body doesn't process seed oils to the extent, and it doesn't grab the beneficial nutrients from seed oils like it does from saturated fats, which are the meats and the dairies and those kind of the regular fats that, again, civilization has thrived upon forever.
Yeah.
Forever.
But when did seed oils first get introduced as the better alternative?
In the 50s and 60s.
Because they did an advertising campaign.
Hey, milk doesn't do a body good. Milk thickens your arteries and inflames your joints. Milk's terrible for you, but the milk industry had this campaign.
Seed oil,
big seed,
who came in and they literally spent what was it, $1.8 million or something, which back then was a ton of money.
Right.
And it's
all an ad campaign.
They did a radio ad campaign that was so
effective.
effective.
You think your bologna really has a first name? No, it doesn't.
You're right. And they convinced an entire population that seed oils were the healthy alternative, and that all this other stuff we've been doing for thousands of years so bad. And then cholesterol levels start spiking, all these other things. It's a seed oil.
You think we're not obese? There's not reasons we're all obese as a nation. That diabetes is the number one killer of Americans. Obese, well, 1/3 of this room is obese. 1 in 3 in this room,
and that's pretty bad.
That's pretty bad.
That's pretty bad. Let's look at let's hear a little bit from. Let's hear a little bit from the RFKJ on front.
What my Kennedy impression? Sorry, I can't. I was asked not to do.
We are moving right now to move to front of product labeling, where we're going to tell people exactly what's in their food and why, whether it's good for them or bad for them, and let them make healthy choices.
Do you think this is going to be effective?
Are you kidding me?
Is it good?
This is the key. This is the magic. This is silver bullet to obesity and death.
Really?
We don't flip stuff over and look for the ingredients. Nobody wastes time. Nobody. I can't speak in generalities. In Europe, when you pick up a pack of cigarettes, you know the graphic warnings and photos on the sides of packs of cigarettes in Europe. They don't just tell you they don't. Europe. Well, I don't buy them here either. But I've traveled. In Europe, the warnings are graphic. This will kill you. This causes cancer.
They have like skeletons and stuff on them.
Here's an infected lung.
Ugh.
They use pictures because we are simple people, especially in America. Nobody flips the label over. Food should have on the front, this will make you fat and dead.
You know what's
on the front of a label.
What's interesting?
They ought to have a caricature of like the Grim Reaper eating a cheeseburger.
This is actually a really good idea you've just come up with. You've inspired me to build on your great idea and make it better. You could have a common character, like a happy little cartoon guy, right?
Remember Time for Timer?
He's on, no.
Oh, the food timer?
No.
Healthy snacks?
Time
my
for time.
gosh.
What are you talking about?
I'm a young person. It was along the era of Schoolhouse Rock, which I think was a national institution that needs to be brought back.
Okay.
There was
I didn't actually. Yeah.
If you can find me the Time for Timer, there was this little cartoon character that taught kids about healthy eating.
Oh, okay.
About snacks.
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Think of a Smokey the Bear.
Sure.
Okay. Now
It's the
imagine
reason
you
I
have
don't burn forest
a
down.
happy
Only
little
because of him.
character who's sitting on the front of every label, and depending on what that label will do to you when you eat those ingredients, he could look like happier and healthier, or he could look sadder,
sad and slunched
he could look
over.
kind of fat.
His ankles could look swollen.
Yes.
Right.
Or his skin is really like bad looking and sullen
saggy
and
you look
gross
kind of
and
grayish. Yes.
Yes.
That's how I'm
visual. People are so visual.
To the secretary's point, we need to put labels front and center because people don't take the time. If it's that dangerous, make them aware.
It's really freaky how much stuff is in this food. We have ingredients. We have like 400 ingredients that we put in our food. And on a normal basis that are outlawed in Europe. You can't even, it's like when you travel abroad, when you go abroad and you go to countries like Italy, you just mentioned a second ago, you know why that food all tastes so good?
Because you bought it today.
Well, because it's fresh.
Yes.
And it's good for you.
Yes.
And it's going to add value to your body. All the foods we have here in America are made to last 7 weeks.
Well, there's a benefit to that. It wasn't just too poisonous to make money.
Well,
that was the end result.
The idea is you can save it for longer. You can. It lasts forever.
We've had this conversation. I have it far too often that lactose intolerance and gluten allergies.
Yeah.
It's not because you're allergic to gluten. People have been eating bread since the dawn of time.
I'm allergic to milk. I'm lactose intolerant.
It's what we do to milk. It's what we do to wheat.
Really?
To make them easier to grow, to make them more financially viable, to make them last longer on shelves. In Europe, you shop every day. You buy food that was picked, grown.
I squeezed it right out of a cow. Gave me a tummy ache.
There are exceptions to every rule.
But I don't know what that cow was eating.
You never know.
I don't know. Can we look at the food pyramid real fast before we run out of time?
Sure.
We have it on the screen here. We can go through it.
When I said I liked what they're doing, I do like that they're doing that meat is now given a more prominent and worthy position in the food pyramid.
It used to be bread. Look at the bottom one here. It used to be all bread. You were just supposed to eat, what is this?
7 servings or some
7,
nonsense?
8 servings of bread a day.
Really? That's why we're all obese.
Yeah. And then now they've basically they've flipped it, and now you're supposed to eat
whole grains,
a little tiny bit of bread,
right?
And then at the very top, you're supposed to eat a bunch of protein and
meat, dairy, healthy fats, vegetables, and fruits. These are the prominent things. You ever heard the shop on the periphery, the perimeters of a grocery store? Never shop in the middle aisles.
Grocery stores anymore.
I shop daily. I shop 2-3 times a week. I don't do big cartloads of groceries. I shop very European. I buy it fresh. I cook it today.
That's smart.
Very rarely does food last in my fridge more than 2 days.
My wife hasn't been in a grocery store in years.
Did you shop?
They shove it in the back of the trunk.
Oh, that's right. You get deliveries.
Yeah. No, we don't.
Now they say everything in the aisles of a grocery store is chock full of preservatives and additives.
So get the stuff in the middle?
Those are the aisles, the middles. Go around where they put the produce along the edges. The meats are along the edges.
Oh, okay.
The fish are along the edges. The dairy's along the edges of a grocery store.
That makes
you
sense.
travel down the center of the aisles. It's all in a box. It's got Betty something, Mrs. that one, Butterworth, Fields, whomever. Anybody who's married has a Mr. and Mr. for their name. Don't eat that.
Just stay away from it.
Don't eat it.
It's good advice.
And again, if somebody hands you food through a window, that's a day off the end of your life. You're making the choice, folks.
But it's a good day. It's a good day of eating. There's some foods that I'm willing to shave a little bit
those
of time
last
off
days,
for.
who can say what they're going to hold?
Yeah, I mean, it's about quality of life,
I'll take joy today.
All right, we got a lot more coming up. Stick around. We will be right back.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
With Choke Points, we try to answer listeners' questions. It can be as simple as a neighborhood stop sign, or it can be as big as the budget for transportation. I don't care. I'll find the answer for you. It's really easy to get a hold of me at mynorthwest.com. We have a direct link there that gets right to me. You can also do it in the app. You can hit me up on the text line.
Choke Points, presented by Carter Subaru. Tuesdays and Thursdays on KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
With Progressive Snapshot, you could save on auto insurance rates by driving safely, which is nice because you can just keep doing you. So keep on using that broken phone charger because it occasionally works. Keep quoting something you heard on a podcast as your own. Keep ignoring your sister's texts while you drive and after. And when baggage claim says, have a great trip, keep on saying, you too. And keep driving safely. And you could save with Snapshot from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Snapshot not available in California or from all agents. Surcharge possible for unsafe driving.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try it for free. And you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Start having fun. Caesar Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino Resort is your #1 place to eat, drink, watch, and have fun. Keep up with your favorite sports anywhere and everywhere on property with the mobile app. Visit MuckleshootCasino.com today. Scan the QR code and let the play begin.
Muckleshoot.
Hey, it's Jason Rantz. Our local tax expert Greg Nunn wants taxpayers to know the IRS is now going after older cases very aggressively. If you received Form CP-504 from the IRS, do not ignore it. Be proactive and resolve your situation with Greg Nunn, N-U-N-N, None Better Tax Resolution.
For over 50 years, Bucky's Complete Auto Repair has been the one locals trust for fast, friendly service with guaranteed repairs. With 16 family-owned locations and a Carfax preferred badge, Bucky's makes it easy with same-day service and available financing. Visit Bucky's.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. KIRO FM and HD1. Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Pfizer.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. Protests in Minneapolis after yesterday's shooting death of a woman by an ICE officer have spread to Los Angeles, D.C., and where reporter Mary Lynn Buckley is, New York City.
Travis Morales from RefuseFascism.com says this crowd is rallying in memory of Renee Nicole Good.
This was all to justify the killing of her. Kristi Noem came out and said she's a domestic terrorist.
Many in the crowd holding signs saying, Kristi Noem, you're not welcome here in NYC.
And Kristi Noem has the gall to call her a domestic terrorist. No! She was a hero of the people. Who are the real terrorists?
Mary Lynn Buckley for CBS News, New York.
Vice President J.D. Vance says the officer who shot Renee Good in South Minneapolis was doing his job and is protected by absolute immunity. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz calls for accountability after the FBI takeover of the shooting investigation.
I think it's clear to everyone as they saw this that it feels now that Minnesota has been taken out of the investigation. It feels very, very difficult that we will get a fair outcome.
NASA cancels a spacewalk due to an astronaut with a medical issue, and it may bring the crew back early. CBS News space consultant Bill Harwood.
It's never happened to NASA, and it's certainly never happened in the 25 years the International Space Station has been continuously staffed. So it's a big deal all the way around.
The medical condition has not been revealed, but NASA says the crew member is stable. President Trump says he wants the government to buy $200 billion in mortgage bonds in a push to bring down mortgage rates. President Trump is also lashing out at a few Republicans who voted with Democrats on a resolution to limit his ability to launch more attacks on Venezuela. CBS's Allison Keyes reports.
Missouri Republican Josh Hawley, one of 5 in his party who supported the resolution, says Congress should weigh in if the president wants to put troops on the ground in Venezuela. But
I don't see this as a backward-looking thing. I see this as a forward-looking thing. If this resolution is limited to Venezuela.
But Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer says the vote sends a signal to the president.
No president, no matter how reckless, no matter how egotistical, gets a blank check.
Allison Keyes, CBS News, Washington.
The House has refused to override President Trump's recent surprise vetoes of 2 bills with bipartisan support. CBS's Cammie McCormick.
One was designed to help local communities finance construction of a pipeline to provide water in Colorado. The other designated a site in the Everglades as part of an Indian reservation. That would have benefited one of the groups that sued over the
You still got it, but your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Coming up, a not guilty plea in the killing of a high school freshman. That's after Nate Connors at the real-time traffic desk.
Thank you, Aaron. Tell you what, we've had an easy commute since late this morning, and it's still looking great. Just a few minor backups across the region. Up in Everett, that Boeing shift change is underway, so that means eastbound 526, you're packed leaving the factory over to I-5. South 5 heading into Seattle, we're down to scattered slowing between Northgate and downtown. You're close to freeway speed, so that trip from Linwood to Seattle still looking good, taking 20 minutes max. In Federal Way, North 5 at South 288. Maintenance crews are on your right shoulder, but we have a half dozen trucks that are tickling that fog line, so you'd be best just to move out of that right lane if you're heading that direction. And checking out our passes, Snoqualmie and White Passes have traction tires advised, oversized vehicles prohibited. Stevens, chains are required on all vehicles except all-wheel drive, oversized vehicles prohibited. And over at Bluewood Pass right now, no restrictions. KIRO News Radio Real-Time Traffic, I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon, I'm Aaron Granillo. A 17-year-old Shoreline boy pleads not guilty to killing a 15-year-old girl who went missing last year. KIRO News Radio's James Lynch has more.
King County prosecutors charged 17-year-old Kamaria Onaki with the murder of 15-year-old Ajane Brooks. Brooks was found dead last June in Snoqualmie 3 days after she went missing. Casey McNurthney with the King County Prosecutor's Office says he is being held on $5 million bail.
When you see the added allegation that he was attempting to sexually exploit the victim before her death, the reasons for that high bail amount are even more apparent.
Charges include murder with a firearm enhancement, human trafficking, and felony assault. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
A former King County sheriff and law enforcement analyst says that ICE agent who shot and killed the woman in Minneapolis yesterday put himself in a bad situation. John Urquhart tells KIRO News Radio's G and Ursula.
Because the officer put himself basically in harm's way. He got in front of that car. And when you do that, two things are going to happen. Either you're going to get run over, which is not good, or if you don't move out of the way, you're going to shoot the driver.
The Homeland Security Secretary says the officer followed his training and acted in self-defense. A federal investigation is just beginning. The state is now expanding disaster assistance to people in Lewis and Pierce counties hit by recent storms and flooding. The help comes from part of the $3.5 million released under Governor Ferguson's disaster declaration. Police and shelter staff say they need your help caring for more than 100 cats taken from a home in Buckley.
When investigated, it was determined the conditions were unsafe for any human or animal.
That's Pierce County Sheriff's Deputy Carly Capetto. She says they're asking for cat food and litter as well as crates. If you have extras, you can drop those off at the Buckley Police Departments. And another twist today in the saga surrounding Washington Husky QB Damon Williams Jr. He's now been dropped by his agent, who says he's cutting ties over, quote, philosophical differences. This comes after Williams entered the transfer portal days after signing a contract to stay at UW. University plans to pursue legal action. Weather now, we are going to see a few more showers this afternoon, mainly northern Snohomish County and north of that. Otherwise, looking at mostly cloudy skies. Right now, 45 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
And now, it's time for the Jake and Spike Show on KIRO News Radio. With your hosts, Jake Skorheim and Spike O'Neill.
All right, welcome back to the show. 2 hours down, one fantastic hour to go. Spike, we got a lot of stuff we still got to cover. In just about 25 minutes, we're going to talk with somebody from the University of Washington. It's really interesting. They did this study to try to find out how much time, I think it was high school age kids is what they were focusing on.
I think you're right, yes.
How much time your high school age kids are actually spending on their phones. And the number made me want to vomit. It's so massive. But not just outside of school, which everybody knows is a problem.
Not daily.
It's in school. How much time they're actually looking at these phones while they're in school. The number will shock you, but we're going to talk with their researcher next at 2:30. So you don't want to miss a second of that. And how you can help prevent this so that your kid doesn't turn into a zombie, which would be great. This story, you actually found this story, and I thought this was really interesting. We talked yesterday. They had that big release Actually, no, this was a couple days ago. They made this release, and then they had to come back with a mea culpa and say, egg on our face, we got the numbers wrong.
The CCA numbers and the benefits of that $4.3 billion they've collected, right? Something like that?
So, yeah, the CCA, Climate Commitment Act, they have collected over $4 billion. $1.5 billion has been spent. By law, they're supposed to tell us how they spend that money and how much it actually has done, and if anything.
And they're supposed to tell us accurately.
Accurately.
Which is the big story earlier this week.
So in November, they dropped this finding very excitedly, and they're kind of bragging about it. And Seattle Times wrote up a big piece about it, very excited. They say that with the $1.5 billion so far that they have spent, they have saved 7.5 million metric tons of
of carbon.
From the atmosphere.
Right. From the
which solves all the world's problems.
Well, the equivalent of 40% of the vehicles burning gas or diesel on the road. That's what they bragged about and issued press releases about. And they took that around the block for a drive.
The problem was that they were off by 9,000%, and that they only did 78,000 metric tons.
A couple zeros off.
And they didn't also seem to catch their problem, and they didn't catch their accounting error, which is also should be concerning.
Called on it.
Until Todd Myers called them out on it. And then yesterday they released a thing, or 2 days ago they released a thing saying, hey, we're really sorry. Oops. That was a total innocent mistake, which and let's give them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe it was.
When we heard those numbers that they spent $1.5 billion, but they collected $4.3 billion through the CCA, we're asking at that point, that's a lot of money not spent yet. What are they doing with that? That's $2.8 billion.
So now, as it turns out, they want to spend that money, which is fine that they have it. I wish they didn't have it. I wish they didn't collect it in the first place, but they want to spend the money. And what they want to spend it on is not climate-related things. They want to spend it on.
That's the story in the Times today.
Yeah, and now there's conversations happening over whether or not they're allowed to spend. Let's see here. Bob Ferguson, according to the Seattle Times piece, he wants to take $559 million and direct it towards tax credits for working families. State Rep Jim Walsh, Republican, he wants to take it and use some of it for schools. Other people are eyeing cash for transportation needs. It sounds like kind of a free-for-all because that's a lot of money.
Hey, you've got $2.5 billion in a state with a multi-billion-dollar budget shortfall?
Well, it's interesting because it's basically the only account on the state's books that's in the black. Everything else is in the red.
Right.
It's the only one that has money.
Right.
And so everybody's like, can I get a little bit of that money?
Bite of the apple, they're calling it. Yeah, everybody wants a bite of the apple.
But the question is, should you be able to spend that money on things that it's not originally slated for? Because it was sold, like we were talking about this before the show. They sold us on the idea. They didn't really sell us. They kind of like strong-armed us into it. But they strong-armed us on the idea that it would be used to prevent the world's climate change.
To help correct the effects of climate change so far experienced in Washington and to mitigate future impacts of excessive climate change in the state of Washington.
Which
to limit emissions.
Some of us already thought was ridiculous.
Yeah, and these are arguably dubious claims of what they've accomplished and what they hope to accomplish. But the point is they collected $4.3 billion for a stated goal.
Yeah.
And while they have over 60% of that budget still available to them and money coming in every year, rather than keep this money for the intended goal, they want to start using it for other state needs.
Should they be able to do that?
I don't think they should at all. No, not at all.
What there is a tax carve-out that was built into the original bill, apparently, that they can use it for the first thing that they said, for the, what is this thing? For the
income
climate
credits.
tax. The income credits.
Tax credits.
For family, working families, whatever it is. They can use $559 million. They say that's totally legal, and that's built into the bill originally. Because they say it affects people who are disproportionately affected by climate, or whatever that means.
No, I can tell exactly what that means. Before I got into this element, this leg of my career, I worked as a spokesperson for
the climate,
for the oil and gas industry, for the steam pipe and pipe fitters and plumbers union.
Oh, got it.
Who do the steam pipe fitting for natural gas?
Got it.
Okay. When the utility costs go up, it disproportionately affects lower income and communities of color because a larger portion of their daily budget goes toward their utilities. You follow me so far?
That's true for anybody. Regardless of it's true for anybody with limited means.
Yeah, exactly. If you've got less money in your pocket and your utility bill is $400 a month, it takes more.
Gas is way more expensive proportionally for me than it is for Jeff Bezos.
Exactly. It's exactly right. You're following exactly right. So when they say they can use the family income tax credits to benefit these lower income or families across the state of Washington, it's because lower income families, oftentimes communities of color, are more impacted by these rising costs of utilities.
What's ridiculous?
And then you give them CCA money to where it probably should go.
The only reason the costs are not the only, but part of the reason the costs are rising is because they are charging more for these utilities. because they have to be on this stupid market.
We talked about it yesterday, how it's like a dog chasing its own tail. We're giving you credits because we raised the price. We're raising the price.
So they're ratcheting things up, and then they're saying like, "Oh, now we need more money."
Yeah, but only some of it back to you. Only $559 million back to you, of the $4.3 billion.
It just feels to me. I agree with you. If they're not going to use it for its intended purpose, then it feels a stretch to just use it wherever you want.
Right.
Wouldn't it be better if they just didn't collect it in the first place?
Oh yeah. I think we're total agreement here. If it's not giving the results promised, if you can't measure the results promised and deliver, or give us accurate information on what it's actually doing, then stop collecting it.
I love it.
Yeah, I mean, I can see common sense. I can be talked out of a position if it's a bad position. Sure.
Listen to this. This is from this is somebody who helped write the bill. Former state something who now works for the Department of Commerce. He says rising costs for everyday people are a legitimate concern, and credits are a direct lever to alleviate the pressure. He said, while the credits wouldn't directly reduce emissions, he says much of the money is earmarked towards helping those most vulnerable to climate change, and this proposal sits in a similar vein. So exactly what you were just saying. I think what this highlights, though, is that they don't really care about the climate like they claim they do. Because if they did, they'd use it for it.
They wouldn't take other bites at the apple.
Well, they already know. They're already not using. Let's say they of that $1.5 billion that was used for the fight stuff. They said more than 70% of that spending didn't even go towards climate stuff.
See, that's just mismanagement. I can't get behind that.
It's just it's a total fraud. It's a total waste. They're wasting your money. They're picking your pocket.
Let me ask you this though: if a well-intended program is run poorly, do you kill the well-intended program, or do you just run it better?
No, you kill it.
Isn't the goal still valid?
No, I don't believe it is.
Does it still merit our attention and our efforts?
I don't believe it is. No.
Really?
Yeah, I don't believe that.
That's valid.
Because they have no measurable way of proving of what they're doing is actually working.
Again, that's mismanagement.
It's
poor oversight.
Well-intended. The problem with calling it well-intended is it assumes these people intend good things.
Yeah, well, to eliminate the effects of climate change on this area,
which they know they can't do through this means. Because they can't measure it, and even when they do measure it, they're measuring it 9,000 times more than they're actually being effective.
Say you need surgery, and you go to a doctor who's a quack and does a bad job. Doesn't mean you don't need surgery. It just means you go to a better doctor, you get a better medical care. You still need the medical care. You still got the ulcer. You follow that analogy?
I understand the analogy, but...
I mean, if the goal is to mitigate climate impact on the state of Washington, and you need money to do that, then collect the money and manage it better.
But they can't do that.
They can't manage it better,
and
so
they
give
know,
up.
But they know they can't do that.
They haven't done that. Doesn't mean they can't do that.
Because our borders have open air.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
I mean,
all the bad air is blowing to Idaho.
I mean, it's not like we have walls going up into space. It's such a ridiculous proposition, and
it's
people
a lofty goal.
It's not even a lofty goal. It's just dumb.
It's an unrealistic goal. It's an impossible dream.
It's just collecting your money.
Do you dream the impossible dream?
This reveals the truth, which is that they don't actually care about it. Less than 0.5%. We just had all those floods.
Yeah.
And we talked about this already. All those floods, all the roads that are falling apart, all the flood mitigation, which they originally sold in the very first paragraph of this thing when they sold it to the public back in the day.
Because that was a hands-on in my yard concern. You bet.
Less than 0.5% goes to flood mitigation, which is a real issue in our state.
Sure it is.
Maybe it's climate, maybe it's not.
It happens on a pretty regular basis.
We get floods, and we've got them for hundreds of years. We're going to get them for hundreds of years. Less than 0.5% goes to that spending, which means they don't care about it.
Well, it's just isn't that mismanagement, though? And back to my point?
No. They're being disingenuous. What they want is the money to go to administrative costs like it is. Yeah. They want it to be obfuscated and hid so we don't know where they're spending the money.
And that's the gist of this article in the Times today.
And they would just want it as a piggy bank to use for whatever they want.
Yeah. And you know who's saying don't do that? Inslee. Former Governor Inslee's coming out in this story. He's quoted in this article.
He's saying use it because it tarnishes it highlights the silliness of his program. This is self-serving on his part, I believe.
Yeah, that's a very real possibility that is
what
his motivation.
He say here? I'm going to read you a little bit from the Seattle Times article. Further gutting the state's account specifically meant to cut emissions and prepare for and recover from the warming planet would be grievous and disappointing next step, Inslee said. From his yacht somewhere.
In Idaho.
Not to mention, his yacht in Idaho. Not to mention a breach of faith with voters who backed the policy during a contentious recall campaign last year. Ferguson, however, stands firm, saying he has both law and necessity on his side. Yada, yada, yada.
He does that. He's got law and necessity on his side. He's got a vast balance, a deficit.
Yeah, but
and he's
who
got
did
the legal
that?
ability. Well, he inherited most of that.
I'm saying Inslee did that.
Yeah. Well, that's why I say Fergie says he's got the. So is this Fergalicious or is this Turd Ferguson? Who is he today?
I'm really leaning towards Turd Ferguson.
Are you?
Yes.
So I think him using the money to just put out fires might be Fergalicious a little bit.
I rarely agree with him on a lot of things, but I will say this. If they're going to collect the money, I would rather they spend it on stuff that I can actually see than fairy dust that I can't see.
Fair.
That can't be accounted for.
You and your common sense.
Whose numbers they even say themselves are inflated sometimes by 9,000%.
Oops.
So
Here,
that's
brother.
yes. Okay, let's move on from that.
Yeah,
we can get
good.
to other
That's
things
fun.
more important that people care about, like UW players who are now leaving or claiming they're going to leave and enter the transfer portal.
The ongoing, continuing saga.
This story gets crazier. Of Desmond Williams Jr., who apparently
Demond
Williams.
Williams.
What did I say? Desmond?
I'd mispronounce his name. He's leaving school. Sure.
Demond Williams Jr. I'm not going to respect him enough to say his full name. Demond Williams Jr., who had signed with the Huskies, right?
Yeah, we covered this a little bit yesterday with Salk, that he had signed on Friday a NIL deal, revenue sharing deal with the University of Washington for around $4 million.
$4 million.
Making him one of the highest paid quarterbacks in college football, which sounds stupid to say on its face.
How is
highest
that
paid
even
players in
possible?
college
Here's
football.
a question for you. Is because you actually work with the Huskies?
Mm-hmm.
Is he that good?
Yeah.
Arch Manning,
yeah.
I think he's in that same range.
He's one of the highest paid. He's like $5+ million a year.
He's like 4.9, between 4.9 and 6, they say.
But the going rate for quarterbacks in the NIL is between $1 and $5 million.
Is this guy that good, though? A guy who's not even going to be at the next level, probably?
Well, but he's at this level, and he was one of the most productive quarterbacks in the Big Ten, one of the most productive money-making conferences in college football.
Sure.
He's worth the money because you're only what the market will pay you.
Yeah. No, I don't fault him for that, which is what he's trying to do. He's trying to get paid.
Yeah, and so he signs a $4 million deal with Washington, and then 4 days later he announces he's entering the transfer portal. Mm-hmm. He's going to shop his value around because he can get more money from another school. Now, the problem is his agent, the agent who represents him, who also represents Coach Fish of the University of Washington and other Husky players.
Yeah.
They represent Williams, and they signed this boilerplate deal with the Big Ten about NIL revenue sharing. So when Williams comes out 4 days later and says, I'm entering the portal, I'm reneging on my contract, University is suing Williams for breach of contract, and his agent dropped him like a hot potato yesterday for philosophical differences.
Yeah, he says, I've made the decision to end my representation of Demond Williams Jr. effective immediately due to philosophical differences.
Well,
he's incredible talent, and we wish him and his family the best in their future
and all their future endeavors. When you see the words future endeavors, they are done with you. And you can't blame the agent because here's the agent. He's got a host of Husky players, a host of players all across college football. If they get a guy to sign a contract and that guy doesn't honor his word, the agent his value is useless.
What this is now being called this is a huge national story now.
Yeah.
And kind of they're saying this might be the tipping point in this whole college
a bellwether
NIL
case,
thing.
is that what they call it? Yeah, because the Huskies are suing Williams for breach of contract. It's the wild, wild west, as Salk said yesterday. Players are free to travel around the leagues with no restrictions on their transferring schools from year to year to year to year. And if you can't take somebody's player's word for a signed contract, then there's no governing.
I don't even need his word. Just he signed it.
He signed a contract.
That's what it means.
He signed his contract.
Yeah.
If you can't enforce a signed contract, then what are you doing it for? What matters?
I think
and if the university can hold him to this,
what are you going to force him to throw the football for you?
Well,
I mean, I really something that Salk said yesterday that I thought was very important. $2 million extra for a 19-year-old who likely won't have much of a career in the NFL.
Yeah,
I would do that.
You can't blame the kid.
You look at everybody.
You can be mad at the kid.
I was looking at this transfer portal thing. All these different players. Oh, he's playing at Arizona this year. He's going to go to LSU next year. All these different guys.
We're already looking at the SC quarterback who's in the portal to take this guy's place. Should he leave? We're doing this to everybody else.
So and he's 19. 19 is a kid.
But
when I was 19, if somebody was throwing $6 million in my face versus $4 million in my face, I'd have a very tough time honoring that $4 million thing if somebody told me, hey, listen, there's the odds of you as a 5'11" football player, quarterback having much success in the NFL are not super great. You can make a ton of money next year while you're still young and healthy.
While the sun is shining, you bet.
It's crazy. It's a crazy story.
But this case may be the case that makes college football realize you got to make a change here. You got to lock these kids down. There's got to be some restriction on earning ability or on transfer ability for the portal itself.
But how do you stop that? Do you just say you can only transfer once in your career? You can only transfer once every 2 years?
Maybe you got to stay at least 2 years if you transfer. You don't have to go year to year to year to year to year.
It's going to be like transferring every month before long.
By the fourth week, I'm playing the rest of the year in the USC. Whatever. Yeah, you never know.
It's crazy. Okay, in just a few minutes, this is a topic that's near and dear to my heart, and we talked about this many times.
You got young men in your home.
I got young kids, and they're going to get old at some point, and they're going to ask for phones, and we've already made the commitment to not give them phones. We'll give them dumb phones like you give grandma, but we're not going to give them
But you've just starting
smartphones.
to have these conversations with your boys. Your oldest is 10?
Yeah, my oldest is 10. Yeah, but his friends have phones, which is, if any of my son's friends' parents are listening who now we're social with, I'm not making this judgment about you. But for other people who give their 10-year-olds phones, crazy people. That's what I would say. But not my kids' friends' parents. Those people are salt.
They're wonderful.
Yeah, I love them. They're the best. But for everybody else, what are you thinking?
I'm not in a position of having a fight with my kid about their phone anymore. We had this conversation when my youngest, I got so lucky. My oldest was before the social media age. My youngest was just into the social media age.
Yeah.
My kids didn't grow up when it was the norm for every kid in elementary school and of the upper echelons of elementary school, 5th, 6th graders, to have phones. Middle schoolers all have phones.
It's crazy. They're just staring at them all the time.
And we're asking high schools to make some boundaries and set some rules, some guidelines for these kids, and they can't even do it.
So the UW has this study, and they have the most up-to-date information on how much time your kids are spending looking at screens, and you're just going to get sick when you hear this. But the researcher's going to be on with us next, so stick around. We'll be right back.
This hour is brought to you by Davis Law Group.
And so we are set.
The road to the Super Bowl runs through Seattle.
Seattle is going to win this football game. A single-season franchise record of 14 wins. The 4th #1 seed in franchise history.
Reaction.
Just incredibly proud of them.
Conversation.
The road to the Super Bowl runs through Seattle.
Complete coverage at mynorthwest.com and the home of the Seahawks. KIRO News Radio on 97.3 FM and the KIRO News Radio app.
If you've been putting off retirement conversations because you're worried it's going to turn into a sales pitch, you're not alone. Hi, Ursula Reutin here. At Trajan Wealth, the focus starts with listening. Their advisors are fiduciaries, which means they're bound to put your needs first, and that changes the tone right away. No pressure, no promises, they're not working off commissions, and they're not pushing any specific products. With Trajan Wealth, it's about understanding where you are and having a clearer sense of what your options look like. Trajan Wealth is veteran-owned and works with families who want thoughtful guidance that fits real life. Start the new year off right with a game-changing financial plan. Call Trajan Wealth today to figure out how to make your New Year's resolution stick. Trajan, spelled Trajan. Call 206-656-3300. That's 206-656-3300 or visit TrajanWealth.com.
Advisory services through Trajan Wealth, LLC. SEC registered investment advisor. Client paid advertisement. Additional disclosures at TrajanWealth.com.
Breast cancer is a tough battle for anyone to fight. But when you can't work, care for your kids, or even put food on the table, that diagnosis can be devastating. I'm Dr. Suzette Miranda, a plastic surgeon who is proud to support Northwest Hope and Healing. Our mission is to provide a lifeline for breast and gynecologic cancer patients. We cover essentials like food, utilities, and childcare, so patients can focus on healing. For more than 25 years, Northwest Hope and Healing has distributed over $3 million to thousands of local cancer patients, and you can help make a difference in our community. Join us on Saturday, January 31st, for Cork, Fork, and Support, an afternoon of fine wine, gourmet cuisine, and inspiration at Mary Hill Winery in the heart of Woodinville wine country. Get your tickets now for Cork, Fork, and Support on January 31st. Go to nwhopeandhealing.org to learn more. That's nwhopeandhealing.org.
Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa. This weekend only, Friday through Sunday, Angel of the Winds Arena, Everett. Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa. This weekend only, Friday through Sunday, Angel of the Winds Arena, Everett. 18-month interest-free financing. Our factories have demanded we sell 1,000 hot tubs and swim spas this weekend. Angel of the Winds Arena, Everett. Huge factory incentives, factory rebates, this weekend only. Angel of the Winds Arena, Everett. We can remove your old hot tub. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Hot tub starting at $2,999. Angel of the Winds Arena, Everett. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Just relax and enjoy. Angel of the Winds Arena, Everett. Friday, 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. Saturday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Sunday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Free admission, free delivery. Angel of the Winds Arena, Everett. Call 833-SPA-SALE or visit hottubandswimspasale.com.
Guys, low energy, low drive, or strength not what it used to be? For many men, it's low testosterone. At Revive Men's Health Washington, start with a free T-check exam and consultation to get real answers. And this month only, qualified patients may receive 25% off testosterone replacement therapy. Call 206-529-1111 or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Terms apply. Must medically qualify.
Start having fun. Caesar Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino Resort is your #1 place to eat, drink, watch, and have fun. Keep up with your favorite sports anywhere and everywhere on property with the mobile app. Visit MuckleshootCasino.com today. Scan the QR code and let the play begin.
Muckleshoot.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
You still thinking job change in the new year?
Yeah, I need something that's in high demand and more stable in this economy.
IT?
Yeah, cybersecurity, maybe even AI.
That's what I did.
Really? How?
Went to My Computer Career. You don't need any prior experience, and you could start your new career in a matter of months. A lot of IT pros go to school there, too, to level up.
Sweet. Are classes online or on campus?
Both.
Wow, I'll check it out. Thanks.
Make this your year. Take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu, an Elite CompTIA certification partner.
Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Nearly half the homes in Western Washington are not properly insulated or not insulated at all. Sound like your home? Then call for your free inspection.
InsulationNorthwest.com. KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granillo. Several Seattle City Council members are now calling on federal immigration officers to leave the city. Their comments follow that deadly shooting involving an ICE agent in Minneapolis and an operation here in Seattle. City Council member Bob Kettle says it appears masked ICE agents confronted 3 men yesterday at a Home Depot on Aurora Avenue, then chased them into a nearby cemetery.
Too often, what we're seeing with federal law enforcement, never mind the mask and the tactical gear that they're wearing, but they're not really doing the due process. They're not doing all these things that we have as a nation in terms of rule of law.
We have reached out to ICE for more information on yesterday's arrests. No word yet on who was detained. We are now hearing from members of Congress here in Washington about that deadly shooting in Minneapolis. Here's KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey.
Representative Smith calls Renee Good's death tragic. He blames the shooting on the Trump administration's approach to law enforcement, violent action followed by zero accountability.
It does not strike me as a one-off. It strikes me as a pattern in terms of how the Trump administration seems to think they should enforce the law.
Homeland Secretary Kristi Noem says the officer involved fired in self-defense after Good targeted him with her vehicle. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
Scary situation outside of a daycare near Port Orchard. KIRO News Radio's Jillian Raftery explains.
Workers heard loud bangs. Checking outside, they told investigators they saw a man across the street wearing dark clothing, holding a gun. When Kitsap County Sheriff's deputies confronted the man, he said he was just shooting targets in his yard. But he later admitted to aiming across the street, too. And deputies noticed he might have been drunk at 8 o'clock in the morning. He was arrested for reckless endangerment. Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
Washington's insurance commissioner is fining Kaiser Permanente $300,000. Patty Kuderer says the Kaiser Foundation Health Plan of Washington violated federal law regarding coverage for mental health and addiction. Commissioner says Kaiser failed to provide adequate documentation on provider standards. At 2:32 now, we go to Nate Connors at the real-time traffic desk.
Hey, no surprises out there, Aaron. In fact, relatively light volumes and zero crashes. We're doing really good. I do want to remind you, in Federal Way North 5 near South 288, the maintenance crews are on the right shoulder, real close to sticking out in that right lane. You can still get by, but it's probably safer for everyone if you just move over a lane if you're heading in that direction. South 5 is thick between Southeast 8th and Cold Creek Parkway. Some drive times: Everett to Bellevue, 25 minutes. Linwood to Seattle's at 15. Olympia to Tacoma, a half-hour commute. And we still have a wind advisory at the Tacoma Narrows Bridge. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Looking at your forecast now, spotty, mostly rain showers this afternoon, and most of those showers are in northern Snohomish County and farther north. Right now, 45 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
All right, welcome back to the show. I am very excited to speak with our next guest, who is a researcher at the University of Washington. His name is Dr. Dimitri Christakis. He's a professor of pediatrics at the UW School of Medicine and a Seattle children's practitioner. Joins us now. Thank you so much for making the time, Doctor.
Thanks for having me. It's kind of fun to be on the radio and on video at the same time. It's something new for me.
It's a brave new world. Yeah.
See, I forgot to turn my mic on. It's not easy work, Doc, but you've got the face for it, at least. There's that. Thanks for taking the time to give us your insight into these findings of your study. Jake is the father of 4 boys. The oldest is 10. I'm the father of 2 children, 36 and 22. So I'm lucky that my kids are growing up after the era of social media prominence in their lives. And your study had some really revealing information about kids and their use of social media and phones in particular.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about this.
Yeah, Jake. So, and Spike, what we did was we got 640 kids across the United States, teenagers, to agree to let us put a tracking app on their phone so that we could know when they were on their phone during the day and night, for that matter, and what they were doing on their phone. And that allowed us to see how much time during the school day they were spending on their phone and what apps they were using. And the short answer is that the typical teenager in the United States spends about an hour and 15 minutes on their phone during the school day. 25% of kids spend a quarter of their school day on their phone.
What?
And yeah, and if you're listening or you're about to ask me, wait, maybe they're using it for educational reasons. No, they were on social media, TikTok, Meta, Instagram.
It was just in the hallway and at lunch, though, right?
Well, it's a good question. You know, we don't know whether they were using it during class time or during lunch or in the hallway. But you know what? It doesn't really matter to me anyway, because I think all of that time is precious. You know, like if they're using it in the classroom, they're clearly not paying attention to what they should be learning. And if they're using it at lunch or in the hallway, they're not taking the opportunity to engage with their fellow classmates, their friends in real time and space, you know, and kids need that. I mean, we all need it.
We talked about what a loss that was during the pandemic of the loss of socialization for these kids and how it affected an entire generation. And now these kids are doing it voluntarily when they don't have to.
Yeah, and I hate to say it, but, you know, the pandemic made it worse. I mean, many of us, myself included, have been concerned about screen time during the pandemic, sort of said, well, you know, let's throw caution to the wind. We lock these kids up. We have to give them some way to engage with each other. But the pandemic, thankfully, is in the rearview mirror. But the problem of overusage and over-reliance on social media is by no means gone. And in fact, it's only getting worse.
We're talking with Dr. Dimitri Christakis with the University of Washington, professor of pediatrics, and also with the Seattle Children's. Can you tell me, this is something that my wife and I have talked about many times, and we've talked about it on the show. We've kind of decided to make a commitment with our kids to not give them smartphones. If that's a decision that they want to make when they become adults, that's something that they can do. There are alternatives. I don't want them to be unsafe, so we're going to, you know, when the time comes and they're driving and whatnot, we'll give them dumb phones so that they can call us if they need help or AAA or whatever it is. Maybe it'll text a friend, but the time that kids are spending on social media is eating up their entire childhood. I mean, if I'm not wrong here, I saw this Seattle Times piece, which is where we were seeing some of your research. They're spending something like 7, 8 hours a day on social media.
Yeah, the typical child in the United States spends between 5 and 8 hours a day on their phone, and that's during all 24 hours. So that's during school, that's in the evening, that's at night.
Where are they finding the time? I mean, you're going to school, that's an 8-hour chunk. You're sleeping, hopefully that's an 8, 9 hour. I mean, they're younger, so they're sleeping longer. For my kids, that would be like a 10-hour chunk. There's just not a lot of hours left in the day. And then you're staring at a phone. How are you? I mean, as somebody who's like a pediatrician, does this just scare the heck out of you?
It does concern me, Jake. And I first of all, I want to take a minute to applaud you for the proactive decision you and your wife have made not get kids smartphones. You know, it's funny we call them phones because it's the one thing kids don't do on them is talk. You know, it's kind of an archaic term. Right. But they're really, portable, internet surfing, social media using, game playing devices.
Distraction devices, yes.
Distraction devices, that's right. But I'll add one thing that I would suggest you consider doing, and that is not just make a pact with your wife and kids that you're not going to get them smartphones, but try to engage your kids' friends' parents to make a similar commitment, because it's so much easier if you have a cohort of children. You know how during the pandemic we created pods, where we would say, like, this is a safe pod. If you can get your kids' friends' parents to agree, and I think many of them will be agreeable to that, it'll be so much easier because it will relieve you of the pressure of them coming and saying, I'm the only one that doesn't have a smartphone.
Which is,
all my friends do.
You're totally right. That's the number one thing. Every time we talk about this, there's always people who text in and they say, you know what, you're totally right, but you have not experienced the pressure yet that you're going to feel when your kid gets into there. I mean, my oldest is 10. Some of his friends already have phones.
They're already getting them. That's the age kids get them.
That's the age now, which is not, to me, who grew up like just before phones were ubiquitous in every hand. A 10-year-old with a phone feels insane to me. I don't even understand that.
So while we've got you on the phone and your experience and expertise in this field, give Jake some ammo to go to these parents. What is this much social media use doing to a kid in middle school or even younger?
Well, it's fundamentally, I think what Jake said was right. There's only so much time in the day, and they're spending, you have to ask yourself, is this time well spent? But let me just say something else here that I think it's important that people know, because some of the parents today may themselves have been on social media when they were younger, or maybe they never even knew what social media was. The reality is that it should surprise no one to learn that these companies that for years have hired the smartest computer engineers out of college and financially incentivized them to make products that are so engaging that you can't put them down, have created products that are addictive. They are addictive. And we don't allow children today access to addictive products or addictive behaviors, whether it's alcohol, tobacco, gambling, precisely because we think they don't have the cognitive capacity to limit their use of it. And they're at high risk of overuse and addiction. That's what these products are. They're that addictive. And the truth is, I got on Facebook in 2011 when my child turned 13 because he was on Facebook. Facebook 2025, and I'm dating myself because I'm on Facebook, but Facebook 2025 is not the same product as Facebook 2011.
Not at all. You're totally right.
They have evolved it. They've developed it to become more and more difficult to put down. And parents just have to realize that.
The other thing I'm sure you've seen this in your research too, but it's so ironic. I mean, I'm not the first person to make this point. Many people have said this, but the fact that it's called social media, when it really teaches you antisocial behavior, it removes children from doing the thing that they need so vitally in their younger years, which is to learn to talk with other people, to look people in the eyes. I mean, I'm already seeing it with my son's friends. You can tell the kids whose parents are, and I do think it will be a growing movement. I do think that like we're still kind of in the immediate after effect of like the wonder of a new technology with phones. I do think there's going to be a lot of people who start embracing this, not complete Luddites, but like people who are saying, hey, you know what? Technology is not always such an amazing thing for us. But you can tell the kids who are comfortable coming into a house, not looking at a screen, and then there's other kids who need that all the time. And I see it, and it scares the hell out of me as a parent.
Well, I'll share a story from thankfully my son is not listening to your show, so I could share a story from when he was in high school.
Make him a listener. Tell him he should listen.
He doesn't live in Seattle. He lives in California, actually.
We got a podcast. Send him the podcast.
Well, when he was in high school, a freshman in high school, sophomore in high school, he wanted to do a project, as he always did, and he wanted me to go get some parts with him at Home Depot. And I said, before we drive to Home Depot, why don't you call them and see if they have it? And he said, well, can't I just text them? I said, no, you can't text Home Depot. You have to call and ask, and see if they have this part. And it occurred to me at that moment, he'd never talked to anybody on the phone. Like, this was for him a daunting experience. He didn't know how to do it. And it's not his fault. But this is, your point is exactly right. If we deprive people of these natural opportunities to engage in non-social media, non-digital interfaces, they don't develop them. And that's why, to bring it back to the beginning, Spike, when you said, well, is it during the classroom or is it during the lunch hour? I don't care. If you're looking at your phone during lunch hour, you're not looking in the eyes of your classmate, and that's what you should be doing.
That's Dr. Dimitri Christakis, professor of pediatrics at the University of Washington School of Medicine, and also Seattle Children's practitioner. Thank you so much for your time. Can we get you back on the show sometime? I feel like we need to spread your message far and wide. Is that okay?
Anytime.
Fantastic. All right.
Thanks, Doc.
You guys should read about this. We're going to post the story so you guys can all read about this and arm yourselves to protect your kids. We have a lot more coming up. We'll be right back.
Seattle voters wanted change.
I campaigned on affordability, on homelessness, on taxing the rich.
Can Mayor Wilson live up to the promises of candidate Wilson?
The self-proclaimed progressive socialist
managing high expectations. Trusted Northwest News voices you depend on.
More government programs, which means more tax dollars.
KIRO News Radio on 97.3 FM. And the KIRO News Radio app.
Progressive knows life takes you in many directions.
Bear right at exit 32, then begin to wonder why you never bought a fish tank. In 1.3 miles, you'll realize you've been mispronouncing epitome your whole life. At the roundabout, you will remember you said something at dinner you wish you hadn't and will think about it for decades. You have arrived at your destination, but it turns out there really is no destination and life just keeps going.
Wherever life takes you, protect your home and auto with a bundle from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
Let's go! You're still grooving, still connecting, still loving, still turning up, still thriving. You still got it, but your immune system, it weakens as you age. That's where vaccines come in. They help train and strengthen your immune response to fight off respiratory illnesses like flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, or COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Book in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, Call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-897-4400. That's 800-897-4400.
Endless hours of research, seeking referrals, dozens of calls. Hiring the right attorney can be a challenging process during an already difficult time. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains.
In Washington State, Tom, there are thousands of attorneys to choose from. Referrals and online research can be helpful, but discovering the right attorney requires a conversation. It can be hard to identify integrity and authenticity without that interaction.
So, what do you recommend?
We encourage anyone looking for personal injury representation to call for a free consultation with our team before making a decision simply based on referrals or online research. Accident victims need an attorney that listens, demonstrates honesty, and is genuinely understanding of their unique circumstances. The care, attention, and preparation that our firm provides throughout the case mirrors the effort involved when taking on the insurance companies.
Save time and avoid mistakes after an injury. Contact the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
I bet you folks are glad to be done with your shopping. Hopefully, all your gifts went well. But there's one last store to visit, this time just for yourself. Your chance to get one of the top-rated Samsung, LG, or Sony TVs at a crazy low price. Where? At Video Only's year-end clearance sale. A great way to end the year. If you don't check out these deals at Video Only, you'll be sorry.
Hey there, Dawn Riling with Olympic Hot Tub. Ready to kick off 2026 on a healthier path? Our New Year, New You event has everything you need, from saltwater hot tubs to rejuvenating saunas and cold plunges, or staying active with a swim spa. We've got the perfect way to help you feel your best. Enjoy special savings on our entire wellness lineup now through January 11th. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Olympic Hot Tub.
Eggland's Best, the only eggs with more fresh and delicious taste, plus superior nutrition. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
Best Mortgage is proud to be the longest-running mortgage company on KIRO Radio. Over 20 years, they've been giving honest advice you can trust as your VA loan and reverse mortgage experts and debt consolidation specialists, too. Just web search Best Mortgage.
Start having fun. Caesar Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino Resort is your #1 place to eat, drink, watch, and have fun. Keep up with your favorite sports anywhere and everywhere on property with the mobile app. Visit MuckleshootCasino.com today. Scan the QR code and let the play begin.
Muckleshoot.
All right, welcome back to the show. Thank you to all of our guests today. Really great talking with folks. Thank you guys also for listening. We really do appreciate it. Thank you for all your text messages on the text line. We're going to read some of those right now. We've got a lot of good ones. Laura, why don't you start us off?
Yeah, on Dancing to Ward Off Dementia, 425 says, isn't Spike Spiker named the Dancing Queen?
Yes, it is. Thanks for your long-term listening.
Was it from dancing?
No, it was because my motorcycle had a stereo that I just had installed that day. I turned on my bike and it was hooked up to my Apple iPod. That's how old this was.
So is that ABBA?
ABBA was my first alphabetically listed musician, and I didn't know how, since it was new, I didn't have to change music. So I'm standing with 20 bikers at a biker rally, and Dancing Queen is blaring over my big speakers.
It's a good song, though.
It's a great song. I love it.
Even better story.
Yeah. Rick the Plumber says, I'm picturing Spike doing the dance with Napoleon Dynamite. Thanks a lot, Jake.
You're welcome.
Yes,
Rick. I wish it had been that dance instead of what he did in the studio. On teens who ran from cops and crashed a car but didn't spend a night in jail. I'm going to start with Troy's here, but you guys can go back to Glenn's. Troy in 206 says, Jake, I love your approach to correcting. Do you want to be the dad of a 41-year-old man? I'm up for adoption. Troy, we already have 4 boys in the house. I don't know.
What's another at that point?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you're right.
But you said this earlier, and if somebody missed it, you said you tell your boys, I'm correcting you now because I love you.
Yeah.
And I want you to learn the lesson here before somebody who corrects you who doesn't care about you.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's just a great
It's going to be a
point,
lot more harsh.
Yeah. Glenn in CTAC says, years ago, my father told us, if you do something stupid, don't call me. Well, I got into an argument at the Old Kingdom, got arrested for assaulting a police officer. Ooh. You know, that happens. Called my dad Friday night. He asked, what did you do? I told him the charges. He asked, when's your court date? I said, Tuesday. He said, I'll see you then. I've never assaulted anyone again. A learning moment.
Friday night at the Kingdom, Tuesday court date. That's good
4
parenting.
days.
That's good parenting.
It is good parenting.
James Paulsboro says, missing curfew from 9 to 10 is one thing. Midnight to 3 a.m. is completely different and borders on parental negligence. I say this is a parent of 4 kids, and knowing the parenting is hard. I mean, he's not wrong.
It's a really good question. You have a 15-year-old kid who's allegedly drunk behind the wheel, shouldn't be drinking, shouldn't be driving, shouldn't be running from police over 100 miles an hour.
No.
Why is this parent off the hook? I do feel like there needs some conversations with that parent as well.
Possibly, and I'm just speculating, because there were no real tragedies here. I mean, if a kid commits a crime, then the parent,
if they hit somebody,
oftentimes the parent is held accountable. But a parent who doesn't know where his kid is at 3 a.m,
nothing good. Every parent says the same.
Nothing
version.
good happens after midnight.
Mine was 11.
Yeah, well, mine was 11 when I was 8, and then it was midnight, bumped up.
Then it was. Did your parents say that to you, Laura? Nothing good happened. I guess they don't say that to girls.
That's the beauty of having daughters, buddy.
It's a boy thing. They only say it to boys. Let's see here. Bobby in Tacoma says, release to me. Absolutely. Release this kid to me. Release my kid. We need to keep our children out of the system if at all possible. I don't understand parents who call the cops on their kids. In this case, Bobby, nobody called the cops. The parent didn't call the cop on the kid. The cops found the kids because they were running from the police. I don't think it's the worst thing that this kid ends up spending a little time locked up.
If you missed this segment, Charlie Harger has a piece on My Northwest about 3 teenagers in a car between midnight and 3 a.m. chased by the police, and they were released to their parents rather than being sent or even held in jail overnight.
Yeah.
Go back
No
and
charges.
listen to it and get the whole story.
Yeah, interesting stuff. All right, on the new dietary guidelines and warnings on food and cigarette labels, Matthew in Tacoma says, my sister told me that for every cigarette I smoke, God takes away 1 hour of your life and gives it to Keith Richards. Very good, Matthew. Very good.
Robin and Graham says maybe we should bring back the Mr. Yuck stickers to put on all the foods that are bad for us.
Visual aids help.
I'm telling you, you guys, Laura found that Time for Timer campaign from the 70s about nutritious food. It was a national cartoon campaign, ran on Saturday mornings between cartoons, much like Schoolhouse Rock, but it taught kids about nutrition.
And it works.
It works. You got to speak to people. It's about Secretary Kennedy suggested we put warning labels on the front of food. Warnings rather on the front of food labels, not the back, because nobody flips over the can or the bottle.
Sure.
You got to talk to us in simple terms.
There you go. You want to do one, Spike?
Sure. Spike mentioned how negative milk is. Did you know humans are only mammals on Earth that drink milk after they've been weaned? We're not supposed to be drinking milk, but I do agree, moderation in all things except love. Get all the love you can. Thanks, Tim.
Sometimes too much love is a problem. There are people who just love too much.
Tiger Woods, for example.
Oh, jeez.
On phones for kids, 206 says, Spike, I remember when your daughter Ryan went over on her cell phone hours and it cost you like $1,000 or something of that sort.
Yes. Before we had
Did it really?
These are the days before unlimited coverage. Yes,
Sure.
when you're paying by the minute. And my teenager, who we talked about this with Professor
Christophus.
Dimitri. Yeah, thank you. My kid rang up $1,000 phone bill in the first month. My kid had texting and time on the phone.
Oh, back when individual text cost
money before unlimited plans came into effect. My kid should be we should give us free phones for life for showing how bad it could be. I thought about the time my kid's phone got stolen and I had to track it down. That was
one of my favorite Spike stories.
Yeah.
All right, last
buddy.
one, Spike. You pick it.
Ooh, okay. Dan in Federal Way says, I wonder how UW suing a player will possibly damage future recruiting to UW. This is a story that's going to have a lot of time in front of people. Yeah, how this plays out, this could change how college football moves forward.
We will see. We'll see how that plays out. Thank you all for listening today. We appreciate it. It was a blast. We hope you had fun too. If you're interested in a few more takes from Spike, he's doing the John Curley show next.
I am, yeah.
Him and Greg.
Me and Greg are going to sit in for the recuperating John Curley for the next 3 hours.
Stay tuned for that.
We're lucky.
All right, we'll be back.
When extreme weather hits Western Washington,
a flash flood warning after a critical levee breaks along.
KIRO Newsradio is the first place you turn.
We have team coverage this morning.
Live in Auburn, James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Which communities are hit hardest?
Skagit River again going to flood to major levels.
What it means for your commute.
Northbound 167 underwater.
MyNorthwest.com and KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM. and the KIRO Newsradio app.
The real estate market is picking up and you want to sell with the best. You need to work with the Novak team. Mike Novak guarantees to sell your home in 21 days. If not, he'll sell it for free. Go to meetthenovaks.com. I'll spell it for you. Meet the Novaks Novaks.com.
Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa. This weekend only, Friday through Sunday, Angel of the Winds Arena, Everett. Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa. This weekend only, Friday through Sunday, Angel of the Winds Arena, Everett. 18-month interest-free financing. Our factories have demanded we sell 1,000 hot tubs and swim spas this weekend. Angel of the Winds Arena, Everett. Huge factory incentives, factory rebates, this weekend only. Angel of the Winds Arena, Everett. We can remove your old hot tub. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Hot tub starting at $2,999. Angel of the Winds Arena, Everett. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Just relax and enjoy. Angel of the Winds Arena, Everett. Friday, 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. Saturday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Sunday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Free admission, free delivery. Angel of the Winds Arena, Everett. Call 833-SPA-SALE or visit hottubandSwimSpaSale.com.
At the Boy Scouts of America, our oath remains: a scout pledges to be kind, helpful, and brave. We're committed to providing a safe and welcoming environment where scouts can establish the foundations of character that will last a lifetime. Our approach ensures the Boy Scouts of America is building the youth of today into the leaders we'll turn to tomorrow. The Boy Scouts of America. Building character is in our nature. Visit scouting.org to learn more about scouting.
Now is your time to get into a new D.R. Horton home by taking advantage of its National Red Tag Sales event going on right now through January 25th. Stop by any of its participating communities and find select Red Tag homes at incredible pricing. So whether you're buying your first home or looking for an upgrade, you don't want to miss the Red Tag Sales event going on right now. Discover the D.R. Horton difference. Visit drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder and equal housing opportunity builder.
Guys, if your energy is low, your strength isn't what it used to be, or your drive feels off, it's not just getting older. For many men, it's low testosterone. At Revive Men's Health Washington, you can start with a free T-check, exam, and consultation, so you get real answers about your testosterone levels and overall health. And this month only, qualified patients may receive 25% off testosterone replacement therapy. This isn't guesswork or one-size-fits-all treatment. Revive specializes in personalized, closely monitored testosterone care designed to help men feel stronger, sharper, and more like themselves again. With over 120,000 patients treated since 2011, Revive Men's Health is trusted for results, not hype. If you've been putting this off, now is the time to act. Claim your free T-check and consultation and see if you qualify for 25% off TRT. This month only. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Terms apply, must medically qualify.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. KIRO FM and HD1. Tacoma, Seattle. North